Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ashes Wednesday. This week we return with Steven. He is back in action
thanks.
after a week away last week. For everyone that didn't tune in on Monday or Tuesday, give us a
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why aren't you watching us?
I mean, who
This
doesn't
is-
have 20
this
hours
is
a week to watch every stream that we
Premier
do?
tabletop gaming streams. You can't
mean-
get any better than this. What was I up to? I was backpacking. I was backpacking in Paria Canyon. It's on the border between Arizona and Utah. Over there, northern edge of the Grand Canyon. I will say this: I waxed quite a bit about this on Monday. I think it's a phenomenal hobby. I think it's one of the best in the world. Backpacking specifically, the idea of carrying stuff for its own sake is a complete waste of time. But what backpacking allows you to do is to get to places that are truly marvelous, magical, etc., and worth getting to. So I'm not there to hike. Hiking is just walking.
You're there to get somewhere.
I want to go see. I want to get to places that are really magical, and there are a tremendous number of those at the Paria Canyon area. So I would highly suggest if anybody wants to do this, White House down to Lee's Ferry. Look it up, do it. You get a permit.
I was gonna say you guys had to wait till noon one day, and you were hitting refresh, and you had to sign up for it. And
that was right before the stream. You 4 months in advance is when they opened the window.
At 1 p.m. because it was mountain time or whatever it was. Crazy. Well, welcome back. Happy to have you. I told you this off camera, but if you weren't joining, I see a good question. Chrono saying, how exactly does this compare to crokinole? Which is a question we got a lot last week.
I heard rumor about this.
For some reason, midstream, all of a sudden, hundreds of people kept getting dumped into our stream from a video of someone doing commentary on a crokinole game.
Some kind of influency type, right?
Well, it was
like a PewDiePie type.
Imagine if there was someone doing comedic fake commentary on top of something.
I can imagine
if someone that
it's like a riff tracks for crokinole.
100%. Like if someone never played X-Wing or Ashes, and then they were it was a world championship of Ashes, and they did a 6-minute video of explaining what's going on, having no idea what's really going on.
That would be funny.
Yeah. So then they were getting dumped here, and they were like, what is this? And a lot of those people actually had played and were familiar with Magic and whatnot. So to answer a lot of those questions, we won't be talking about crokinole today, beyond this. But because of that, all of a sudden in the middle of the stream, I was getting a ton of questions about what's Ashes, how does it work? I made a comment about it being better than Magic, and people were like, no way, why do you say that?
That's all you ever have to say to get anybody riled up.
They were riled. So it was a good time, though. It was really cool because there were actually a ton of people that were genuinely interested. It was because art was popping up, pull up Odette. It's anyone sees this card, and it's wait, this is unique and interesting and cool. So anyways, that was really cool. I don't know if anyone is going to make it from that video to actually playing Ashes, but if you're watching this and you're one of those people, I would love to know, because that would be fantastic. If you're watching it later, leave a comment in YouTube, and that would be wonderful.
So what'd you get up to anyway?
So what I did is I went through all the cards again before the stream.
How many times we've been through the cards at this point?
A lot.
You're just gonna pretty soon you just be bathing in them to try to get that osmosis effect going.
Eventually, I'm used to playing card games where we get a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And I don't ever have to do that, but there's just so many cards. So I went through the Phoenixborn. They previewed new Phoenixborn, like that new Odette and Victoria last week, and before that it was Brennan, and the week before that it was Jessa. And I picked 4, which is the 4 you see in front of you. And I had them out, and I was going through all the cards, and I would see a card, and I was like, who do I think this could go to?
Right? Okay, so you did a little draft, basically. You drafted for each hero.
Like we did when we were deck building originally, but I was doing it with 4 heroes at once. And I was kind of working through the deck building process, but because of the midstream chaos, I didn't get as far as I wanted.
Okay.
So I basically have a pretty much built Odette deck, but I learned something off stream from a comment on YouTube that is going to make me change something.
Something doesn't work like we thought it did?
There's laws, law of abundance, or law of, I forget the name of them specifically. There's a few laws, but the laws take up spellboard slots.
But then they go away, right?
They go away, but I thought I had an extra spellboard slot.
Ah, right.
But really, I'm using there's an updated Emperor Lion.
How can you resist?
Yeah, check out this Emperor line. There's a lot of sight. Look at that.
I love that. By the way, I love the idea of laws. I think this mechanic in the game is phenomenal. Like a temporary spellbook hit.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how the clerics, should feel.
Yeah,
100%.
So you can see the Emperor Lion, the new one with the gold border. So if you're newer to the Ashes streams, we're doing Ashes Reborn, partner with Plaid Hat, using the PDP model, player-driven production, to bring this thing back. And the gold border means that it's the updated version of the card, coming in the upgrade kit and also in the reprinted version of these various decks
That is
with
an
like red
awesome
packaging.
card. So it goes and gets a law and puts it
Go,
in play.
yeah, I love that you're
Okay,
so yeah, so
good.
the
I love
Emperor
it.
Lion
It's a good theme.
comes in and gets a law. So
And you can only have one.
You can only have one.
Yeah, nice.
But basically, every time you play the Lion, you get to put a new law into play, which is really cool. But I thought I had an extra spellboard slot because Odette only has a spellboard of 3.
Yeah.
So I need to make some tweaks to that.
Do you think it's only laws for her? Like one summon and all the rest laws and allies?
So I went a weird direction with her intentionally.
Good.
She is it's like basically life and death. So you have the lion, but then
that's heavy theme.
I have the law of life and death. The other slot is the
you have the death.
I went ceremonial.
And divine ceremonial.
Yes.
I know people like that.
Yeah. Well, that's me. It's me. Oh, the Dread Wraith.
Yeah, you can't get away from that Dread Wraith. You look at it, and every time it's like
it's got it.
Put it on the wall.
So I have this deck mostly built, but I literally have these cards sectioned off. So we actually I never did the final deck building for these 3.
Okay.
So I would like to do that. Now another thing is we have our Maoni and you had your Saria deck.
It needs some changes.
Definitely needed changes. You can do that whenever you want, but what I need to do is update this Odette deck, and then I'd like to get these all into like actual decks.
We also need to preview some cards.
And we need to look at the previews that happened today. So I think we should do previews, and then we should walk through, get these decks built, and then jam out a couple of games. I don't think it'll take us over long, especially on these 3. Jessa, I was actually surprised with Jessa because her like requirement on what kind of resources she plays was actually all of these. Was specifically like if you look at her card, she references a basic symbol, and her signature card has a basic symbol now as well.
She can do anything.
She can do anything.
Yeah.
I was in my head. I was like, you have to go ceremonial. I also have generically good cards here that I think can go into pretty much any deck based on the magic type.
Based on that enchanted violinist.
So the other thing is they posted a PDF which was like a primer to 1.5, and it has a list of all the cards that are being updated. And so any card that's being updated that we have not previewed yet or I haven't printed for us to actually play is in, not this stack. It's over here in a stack off screen.
Okay.
These are conjurations or summon spells that we don't have the updated version for something yet. So I just moved them out so that
they're gone.
We can't build with them.
We don't even want it.
If they're not going to exist in Reborn.
Don't even want it. All right, well, let's look at some cards then, shall we, everybody? We've got 3 that we're showing today that are based on kind of filling in some of the gaps on the preview article today, which I believe was, I call him Mowgli. What's the actual name? Koji? Wolf Cub, etc. Do you want to pull out the preview article on your screen? Sure. We'll take a look at that, and we'll look at some of those on the preview article itself as well.
It's worth pointing out that Plaid Hat's been doing a great job here, which is they're posting an article every Wednesday from Nick, the new lead developer, previewing cards, and then we usually are talking about those on our stream and also showing a few extra.
It's pretty easy whenever you just can, cut out all the nonsense, Let's start at the top, man. Let's just run this article down. I think we've got some pops here that we can show. For this, Jonathan and Bryce will flash some lights if I'm wrong about that. What's the first main change here? Let's just run down the article. If you want to follow along, plaidhatgames.com, the top news article here.
The title of the article is Jungle Growth and Imperial Rule.
All right.
So first is Koji's expansion deck has some of the fewest changes of any of the Phoenixborn.
Did a good job with the OG.
Yeah, neither Koji or his exclusive card are changing for Reborn.
Okay, good.
But
do you know what Koji's exclusive card is? I have it in my head.
No, but I can pull it.
I bet somebody on chat knows before we can find it.
I bet our geniuses at home popping cards up will figure it out before we figure it
out.
out.
Oh my gosh, we've got a race. It's a 3-way race. Let's go. Who's going to win? Zach versus Bryce versus chat.
Versus the world.
I don't have the chat screen up.
I think chat's going to win.
Chat probably has already won.
Lick Wounds.
Lick Wounds.
Remove 2 wound tokens and exhaustion token from a target unit or Phoenixborn.
Okay, so remove 2 wounds from a target unit or Phoenixborn?
Yep, and it's an action or a side action and 2 basics.
Yeah, look, chat was right there too. I don't know, too close to call.
Too close to call. I'll give them the race on that one.
Okay, so we stick with the kind of the idea again, only basics. Does his main card have anything but basics?
Can we pull Koji back up?
We've got this new studio, everybody. By the way, aside from how
plain the background is?
Awful the background is. We've got a big monitor because Jonathan blew up our small one. So we're using the big one, and we can like see everything, including ourselves. Yeah. So no place a token on a target card. So no requirements for symbols.
I definitely more and more as we're going through all these cards, I'm realizing how many Phoenixborn don't require a certain type of resource, which is super cool. Like
Yeah.
I think that's really awesome. Anyways, they're saying that basically his most iconic card has changed, which is Summon Indigo Creeper.
Ooh, and is this the one that does the evolution?
Yeah, I think we'll pull up there's the summon. So this is changing. It looks like it's a similar resource cost. It got less text, so an angel's going to get its wings.
Place an Indigo Creeper Conjuration on your battlefield makes sense. Focus 1, place a status on a target unit. You place status. So it just lost its Focus 2 ability.
It lost its Focus 2. And this Focus 2 is you can place a Luminous Seedling Conjuration. So when it was Focus 2, you got so many Conjurations out. And he's the one with a crazy battlefield.
Yeah.
I think it's battlefield 10.
Yeah, it was like 10.
Which is staying the same.
I guess, yeah.
But a lot of things in this game are basically condensing the battlefield down and making it easier to deal with units. So I assume once this got rolling, it was just too much heat happening all at once.
I can't wait to get all these updated cards and just start going. You know what I mean? Like just to see the new Ashes in all of its glory.
I'm super excited just to be able to take all the cards that are not around anymore and not like the old ones, get them out and have the cards and
it's like, let's go explore.
And then we're rolling.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's worth pointing out too. So we're, as of the time of the streaming, it's early October.
It is.
Expectation is November-ish for a lot of the Reborn stuff, the upgrade kit, man. Late November, early December, hopefully.
I thought it was going to take forever, and now all of a sudden it's more or less coming up.
The weather's turned, the upgrade kit's coming. What else?
What else could you ask for?
I'm really looking forward to having all the new cards because I feel like I've talked to a lot of people who feel the same way, which is they don't really want to dive in until they have all the cards.
I'm curious. Hey, anybody out there watching and listening to this here, how many of you are waiting to hop on the subscription until after the upgrade kit? I've heard from a lot of people that they're new to Ashes. They're not buying any of the old product. They're waiting until all the new Reborn products release. They're going to buy a Reborn core set. Then they're going to subscribe to get all the new products. And then they're going to catch up on all the Reborn stuff, the expansions that they don't currently have.
It's worth pointing out, too, after we made the announcement, Plaid Hat had a decent amount of the original stuff on their website. And it's gone. So part of it is like people don't even have an option anymore. So Plaid Hat is reprinting all of the original expansions and core set in the like red packaging. You can see the Reborn red on the screen now. So if you haven't ordered that, I think they have it on pre-order, all that stuff on pre-order on their website, and I assume that's all supposed to come in by the end of the year.
Check this out, man. Scroll up on chat. How many people are waiting? Yeah.
All right, let's see. Terry says, "Hey guys, I'm amped to watch Ashes on the table today, and the banter between us. Well, the banter will happen.
Is ever present, I assure you.
You never know if the gameplay is going to happen, but the banter will be there." Simon's saying, "I'm waiting until the Reborn core set comes out." Crystal, "I'm waiting until after the upgrade because I have nothing of the original kit." Colby D, not Colby, the founder of Plaid Hat, different Colby, bought all the old, waiting for release to play. Tim says, "I'm waiting." Brad says, "Waiting until after the upgrade kit." CN says, 100% also still have 3 decks and some extra dice to snag in the future. Terry said, "Great looking new studio." Any guess on when your new store will open?
It's a big project, Terry. We're going for it. We've been, if you guys listen to the podcast too, we have a lot of ideas about what the modern tabletop retail space should look like. And we've been working on this for about 1.5 years. We didn't expect that we would have to kind of have a transition period between no store and new store. But, COVID and other things have happened to make that the case. But it'll probably be next year-ish, early, mid, late. It just depends on if we can find the right space, how long it takes to build it out.
I think the big question is just how the world goes.
How the world goes. Obviously, it's going to be hard to do no matter what if we can't get people inside of it.
Yeah, well, and I think, for us, this will be a third iteration of our store, and we were planning on some pretty big stuff. And you don't want to invest super heavily in something unless you can stay there for a long time.
Yeah, at least like a 5-year lease.
Yeah, but you don't want to sign a really long lease somewhere when you have no idea when you can open. So that's a fun thing to balance. Matthew's saying, "I'm getting the Reborn core, and then I'm going to see what's up. I'm a subscriber for Arkham Horror and Champions. I'm just waiting to dip my toe in the
Matthew.
Ashes."
Hey, great. Thanks for checking it out. I think you'll dig it.
RH Tome Rahaum. How do you say that?
Either one of those is
R-H-O-M.
technically correct. It's all caps, so it's just all jungle.
I have all the 1.0 sets, so I subbed for the upgrade kit right away. Of course, Mutton Chop, welcome to the chat. Good to see your name. I have all the cards waiting to get the new cards to replace the old. PMK waiting for the core set. Steve, trying to work out release order as I'm in the UK and the shipping prices are a bit too much.
It's happening. More and more, the Plaid Hat's really making the push for international overseas. So I think that will actually be happening through distribution channels and whatnot. So keep your eyes out.
Zeal Jeremy saying, I have all the old stuff, but one deck drafted with my students the other day. That's cool.
Very nice.
Terry saying, I'll be at the new store for opening weekend. We look forward to seeing you. Tristam, I was one of the people who bought basically all the old stuff from Plaid Hat. The sale was insane.
It was insane.
This is cool. PMK, I didn't know this. So I'm in the Caribbean.
Well, very nice. Yeah.
Well, at least, what if you don't mind me asking, whereabouts in the
Whereabouts?
Jordan Hightower, I got the core 1.0 core set at Gen Con 2015. Love the game, but sadly haven't seen much of a community here.
It's going to happen. That's what Reborn's all about. I mean, that's the thing is we're just going to have to get through this period of time. All games right now, all community-driven anything right now, it's problematic. But we're going to have a great product at the end of it with Ashes Reborn. So I think once things level out, normalize, we can start seeing each other again, etc. It's going to be one of the premier community games. Hopefully, that's what we're going for.
That's
sure.
That's awesome.
You see what Nick said up there? Nick had a lot of commentary about about why that stuff was changed.
Oh, there it is. Nick saying,
"What's up, Nick? Good to see you."
Nick being the Nick PhD for Plaid Hat Games, being the lead developer. We were quite surprised when Focus 2 Creepers became S tier despite no changes. It was a cool lesson in how much Reborn rules change the math of a unit value. No Focus 2 is plenty strong still.
What does the S stand for in S tier?
Super tier?
Is it super?
I mean,
is that above God tier or below God tier?
I think it's like the tier. Super Saiyan tier.
You think? Well, I mean, is God stronger than Super Saiyan? Come on.
Nothing's stronger than Super Saiyan.
What was that? Where did they go? Whenever they died, and then they went and trained for a while up there in the weird tunnel place?
Oh no, it's they
had
to
walk
go along
the road
path,
forever.
Yeah, and then they get to hold on, it's not Master Roshi. It's
I kept thinking King Boomy, but that's Avatar.
I can see his blue little face with a little thing sticking out.
Krillin. No, not Krillin. King Kai.
King Kai. Little planet with the what's the monkey? His little monkey.
Don't remember.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yes,
they run around the little planet. Yeah. Anyways, Lanky says,
Aruba. PMK is Aruba.
Nice. He says Aruba, beautiful tiny island with some of the best beaches in the world. I love.
Can you imagine going to play Ashes in Aruba?
Get out of town.
Come on, PMK. Where's that invitation?
We might finally have to do that spoils cruise, except for it's just us. Lanky saying, introduce this is cool. My 16-year-old daughter to Ashes, and she's officially hooked. After I had tried to brainwash her with Marvel Champions LCG and no dice, which is
amazing.
Good pun because there aren't dice in Champions. I'm just gonna scroll to the bottom because I can't keep up. A lot of King Kai commentary, of course. LE saying, I got all the expansion decks through the sale off, introduced to my friends, and we've had a tournament for 4 days now.
That's amazing. Hey, great job. Keep it up. Let's go.
It'll be exciing.
What else is going on in that article? Let's get through these.
Oh yeah, we got to get back to it.
Sorry, we got distracted.
So the Summon Indigo got changed. Let's see. Big indicator of the rebalance of Reborn in action was how powerful they became. Creeper decks were on the fringe of playability in original Ashes, but are now top threat despite receiving a power level decrease.
Nick was right. Who knew?
Super cool.
We got a new Join the Hunt?
Join the Hunt popping up. I always love like that giant wolf. There's a Star Wars story where there's giant wolves like this, and it's amazing.
You seen this whole show called Princess Mononoke?
No.
Have you just seriously not seen it?
But I've heard of it.
I'm going to die right now.
I haven't seen it. You haven't seen Winter Soldier.
I'm sorry, but it's not even comparable. One of them is a life-changing endeavor.
You know what I found out just this week?
What's that?
My wife has not seen Ghostbusters. And I said, I know exactly what we're doing on October 31st.
Yeah, that's a Halloween moment right there for sure.
I quoted something from it, and she was like, didn't laugh. And I was like, Ghostbusters. And she's like, oh, I've never seen that. And I was like, what?
Oh, man.
This long into our relationship? How have I just... Anyways.
That might actually be the worst of all of it.
Yeah, learned. Anyways, Join the Hunt here. Let's see. I'm not going to read the original.
The original is just text. And you notice how the new one is an ability with side action and exhaustion. That's all you need to say about Reborn, really, I think, right? It's like, rather than a paragraph of text, let's make it work within the game.
Yeah, it's a side action exhaustion. Choose a target unit you control to get the following ability. The ability being Group Tactics 2. After you declare
Three or more. 3 or more attackers. Add 2 to the unit's attack value.
All right, so there's a big group. The thing about Koji is he's got a battlefield of 10, so he wants to have a lot of things out, and then he has ways to make a lot of things really good.
He's using the music note to do it, so he's
playing them songs.
Playing the wolf flute.
We also got Huntmaster. It looks like an updated version of Huntmaster.
I love the art on this one. Yeah. Always have. There's some cards in this game that I remember vividly, and this is actually one of them.
Well, when you have that, look how much more art we're. Oh no, we got less art now.
Yeah,
it went the other direction.
Yeah, an angel.
Hold on, let me
get
the sword of justice so we can cut those wings off. I don't even know.
I'm going to read it for you. When it comes into play, place 2 status tokens on this unit and place a Panther Spirit onto your battlefield, which is very nice. And then it has Guide as a side action. Remove a status from this unit, add 1 to the attack value of another unit you control for the remainder of the turn. So basically, it gets the Panther in play. It comes in with 2 status tokens, and then it can do this to any unit, but the theme of it is remove a status token, make your Panther Spirit a little bit stronger twice.
I genuinely like the allies that bring conjurations, like where conjurations don't just come from spellbooks, because this is basically the Huntmaster casting a spell to summon this. Usually the Panther's not exactly the strongest conjuration.
It's a spirit, you know.
But I like the idea, like the 2-for-1 unit.
And check out too, if you can get that back up there. Oh, right, good job. That's a heads-up ball play there on the Panther Spirit. Makes a lot of sense.
Bryce smiling over here. I swear, we got to be able to go to this camera.
Can you bring Join the Hunt back up here? Yeah, it's kind of like we have a little studio, little control room that nobody else can see, which is, I guess, the point of a control room.
Or we keep referencing it, and the people that know.
Yeah, I think that's you got a little inside joke on the stream. So here's I think some of the critical differences that we can again kind of pull out here. So the original Join the Hunt says the following: after you declare attackers, you may place 1. So let's just stop there. After you declare attackers. Instead, the new Join the Hunt is saying, after you declare 3 or more attackers, add 2 to this unit's attack value for the remainder of the turn, but it's an ability that starts out before the attack is initiated. So you remove the status token and then give it the ability, and then you know that it's going to happen. So rather than having that Join the Hunt, like have to do this after attackers exhaust this thing to then do that thing, you separate it into like chunks of a framework. Where it's like, I'm going to give this thing group tactics, then I'm going to attack, and it's going to be +2 because it now has group tactics.
It just cleans it up. Because again, it's like Join the Hunt, anything that's after as a reaction that you play like that. You have to be really careful because it's like, I declare, and then my opponent reacts with something after I declare. And then now it's like, well, do I technically have a window to play something first?
Not if you're moribund.
If you play something, can I react into that? And you have to have this whole chain sequence.
Yeah, you got to have a stack.
And one of the best parts of the game is the action side action mechanic. So everything that funnels into that instead of the old way, I love it. Now, I will say, one thing I would really love to see more of in games is when you're about to do something.
Yes.
That's a good
when you're about to declare attackers.
That's a good Netrunner joke. And we're playing OG Netrunner tomorrow, so I'm excited to see the 1995 version of your favorite.
The only thing I remember is you roll a d6 on some ice and then it kills you if you roll a 6.
The only thing I remember is that it's insane.
Yeah.
So that's tomorrow if you want to join for that. Anyways, on to the previews. It looks like it was it from Koji.
Astria is amazing now, by the way.
Astria,
sneak peek
this is the poster person. I don't want to say poster child. She's not a child. This is Ashes Reborn.
This is Ashes Reborn.
Look at the number of angels that are getting a wing right now.
There's so many angels. There's an innumerable amount of angels, an infinite number of angels.
Look at
like Dante's Paradiso in here.
I really need to say nothing else about Ashes Reborn other than this. So the battlefield goes down by 1, the health goes down by 1, the
well, we gotta stop talking then.
But then the paragraph cuts into a single sentence.
Look at what happens though.
Can you read me the Beguile?
Which one? The one on the right?
The one on the right. I got it.
I'm right here.
We're both like...
I got you. Yeah. When a player would declare attackers, you may place... Okay, so again... We're here. When a player would declare attackers,
the only way this
what does that even mean?
The only way this gets worse, it's not, you haven't done it yet. This is basically saying when you're about to attack.
Does attacking begin at conception?
But like, have I done it or not? Do I, like, what is that framework? Anyways, not to pick on, Isaac and whoever else made the old cards.
Nick could have been involved in the old cards.
Nick was the playtester back then, so I'm looking at you too.
Yeah, you should have said something. Maybe did. A lot of those situations, you just kind of get, But the key thing here is that the new one, I'm not going to read the old one, it's not even worth reading. The new one, first of all, she's got 19 health instead of 18, so she's got a little more health. Lower battlefield. So again, we're seeing those kind of lower battlefields come into play in Ashes Reborn. But Beguile now, a very simple ability, has all the symbols you'd expect to see. Basic, main action, exhaustion. Place an exhaustion on a target unexhausted unit. How easy is that?
By the way, the old one
How great is that?
When a player would declare attackers, you could place an exhaustion token on this card to place an exhaustion token on an unexhausted unit. If you do place an exhaustion token on a target unit, it's like the hoops I just jumped through. Also, when you lean back in a chair like that, look at your picture. When you lean back, how you were.
Did I turn into?
You were down where it's just your head poking out over the just barely. Yeah, there it is. Too good.
Astria is now one of my favorite Phoenixborn just for that ability. Yep. I love a good control, simple
Look
control
at that
effect
art,
like
that art is killing it.
And we're also going back to what we had talked about from the very beginning. You do something, I have a chance to respond. I do something, you have a chance to respond, rather than a preloaded, like a trap, like a Home Alone style trap, where if I open the door, all of this stuff is going to happen, right? Instead, you gotta hit me with the paint bucket on your terms, not on mine.
And give me a chance to respond.
That's right.
Paint bucket.
Yeah, it's like a paint bucket's coming.
I can see it coming down. I have a chance to respond to it. Okay, we also got a new Mark of the Goddess, which is her signature card. The new one is an action and a basic, and it says, I don't know what the old one does. It'll pop in a second.
Do you think? I don't know if this is true. How many of these Phoenixborn are now going to non-magic specific abilities? Because everyone that we've seen so far has been basic symbols.
I mean, Victoria has a mask and Brennan has a knife. So some of these are specific. It depends on how I think they lean into from a flavor perspective. Like she is all about the illusions.
Yeah, and it just seems like a lot of these are kind of getting more, you can build them however you want, which gets me super excited.
Which is way cooler. Yeah. So the new Mark of the Goddess is choose a target unexhausted unit an opponent controls. Deal damage equal to the chosen unit's attack value to another target unit that opponent controls. If the chosen unit is the only unexhausted unit that opponent controls, you may deal that damage to their target Phoenixborn instead.
Oh, that's cool.
Great card. So basically, you can make one of their units attack one of their units, and if they don't have any units to attack, they have to attack their Phoenixborn.
That's really cool. That could be devastating for like Mayoni. Like, can you imagine ending a game, Mark of the Goddess, snake into Mayoni for the win, the KO?
Honestly, if I'm Mayoni and I'm playing against Astria.
It would be a terrible game for you. I can exhaust the snake every turn with her ability and then have it snap at you.
I wouldn't even play the snake.
There you go.
Like, or if I play, I wouldn't let the snake get to like more than 2 or 3 tokens. Because I know you've got this card, right?
Too much of a risk.
It's just too much. Until I see those hit the discard pile, not doing it.
100%.
Not doing it. All right, we also got a new Lightbringer. I love this art. All these like almost like it's like vibrant pastel colors.
This was these 2 decks were like huge updates and improvements to art for me. Just in Ashes 1.0.
Yeah.
These things were like, wow, let's go.
Yeah. So we get a little more text, which is funny because it makes it where you can only see the feathers.
And I also think it's because we're getting rid of this infatuated thing that's happening. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's take a look. Infatuate. When this unit comes into play, choose a target opponent. When choosing a main action during their next turn, the opponent must choose an attack action if they control any units that can be declared as an attacker. That is way cleaner. You see this other one? When it comes into play, spend a basic, attach an Infatuated Conjured Alteration spell to a target unit, and then Infatuated has text that says you gotta basically attack the bird. All Lightbringer is saying basically, I come into play.
You have to attack.
You have to attack it next turn.
Yeah, that is way simpler.
If you can.
And it forces down. Do you have to attack it?
Yeah, I think so. Or no, they have to declare an attack action.
And attack. But it's basically forcing them. That's really frustrating. Because like especially imagine if you have 1 unit down.
Mm-hmm. Like the snake.
You have to, like making you attack with it now is very frustrating.
So good.
Yeah, super good.
Right when you have the right time.
All right, next we got an update to Summon Steadfast Guardian.
This card actually, it's got that. A lot of times when you're looking at old like Hindu art and Hindu
the actual
iconography.
Yeah.
It's like overwhelming with how weird and insanely like majestic it is. Like a lot of I've got an old copy of the Bhagavad Gita that was given to me in a very weird way at a college campus, but it's like got this crazy full color cover on it, and it's just like, this is insane. Like it's gods and stuff, everything's going on. That's the way that Steadfast Guardian makes me feel. Just in case you were interested. Yeah.
So the summon spell, obviously look at the amount of text that got cleaned up, and you see this. A lot more of the cards are having the icons up front. That first symbol will be an action, the next one will be an exhaust, and then the resource sides. Versus the resources that are buried in the text of the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, super clean. So the new one, is a heart and an angel. Place a Steadfast Guardian Conjuration onto your battlefield as an action and an exhaust. If it's focused, which means you have 2 copies out, you can remove all wound tokens and exhaustion tokens from a target Steadfast Guardian
That's
you control.
awesome.
The Steadfast Guardian itself will pop it out.
This is the one that just drives me crazy. Like it's that kind of terrifying divinity. You know, it's terrifying in its divine.
Yeah, I
holiness.
mean, I think part of it is the pose, and also you have the like lots of arms happening.
Yeah, lots of arms are kind of unsettling.
She's got hands like this, and she's got the ones up. Anyways,
one of my favorite GURPS characters had 6 arms.
GURPS?
Yeah, GURPS. Yeah. Generic Universal Role Playing System.
I remember.
Steve Jackson games.
What was the name of the? There's a MUD. No, it's like a text-based online.
No, you're right.
MUD.
That sounds right.
I remember my friend Will played that game.
He was obsessed with it.
Yeah, and then at one point, David and I went over because his mom had called, and he's like, "Hey, can you get him out of the house?" And we get over there, and like we pull up, and we get into his house, and he's got a desk, and he has a recliner that he's pulled up to the desk, and he's reclined in the desk on his keyboard going. And we're like, dude.
You got to get out, man.
Yeah, it's like, when's the last time you got out of this chair? I don't remember.
All I know is text.
I will never forget that. It was dark, and he has the glow of the monitor on his face, and he's just like literally a recliner up into the desk. It was very good. Anyways, the Steadfast Guardian, unit guard, very important in Ashes Reborn. Basically can block for other units. Alert, do not place exhaustion tokens on this unit as a result of its countering.
Wow, this is the Bugatti unit guard right here. It can counter for free. If you focus that spell book down, it can heal itself and unexhaust itself.
And it makes me, it got a 3 life, but it's only got 1 attack. So this makes me want to give it a lot of life.
You want to run this with Mayoni. That's what you should do. Drop the Guilders, drop in these Steadfast Guardians. 2 Steadfast Guardians and a Silver Snake in the middle. You can't tell me that you wouldn't love that.
It would be cool.
Come on.
But you have to play.
Oh, there's only 1. You only have 1, right? Is there 1 on there?
Yeah, 1.
Only 1. They're changing that so much, and I'm so happy about it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is a magical thing. You can't have like 17 of them. It's like, this thing's hard to cast.
Except for the Mist Spirit. We also got an updated Sun Sister, which I like this card with the golden, like, I don't know if those are doves or finches or what.
You're just a sucker for that divine magic.
I really am.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
You like the divine with that mix of evil.
Divine evil?
Yeah.
You mean the devil? Anyways, action, angel, and a basic, which is the same as it was before. We got less text, so update on that. The bottom paragraph's flavor. It's still a 2/2 1 now instead of a 2/2/2. The new one has Care 1, side action, remove a wound token from another target unit you control.
That's so awesome.
The old one
so simple.
had Resurrect. When this unit leaves play, you may search your discard pile for an ally with a title other than this unit title and place it into your hand.
No, just none of that. Can we just not play that game?
Yeah.
Let's put the units on the board and then let's have it out. I don't need. You know, Resurrection has always been a problem in all games.
You mean recursion? Anything? You remember? Yeah. You do remember. You know exactly where I'm going with this story.
We've been around each other for some time.
I just will never forget the Destiny early article that was like Lucas saying, one thing I learned in Netrunner, recursion is bad, don't do it. And then set 1 comes out, it's like, the first big problem is recursion.
Yeah, it's just recursion.
Why?
It's like, well, you printed it on the card. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
Wait, you can get a yellow event in your discard pile over and over every turn, back from the Falcon. And thematically, it's like, you can hyperspace jump every turn. How cool.
He should have also known at that point that the one card that always breaks Star Wars games is the Millennium Falcon.
I know, dude.
Every single time.
I've been trying to warn everyone.
It's like, oh, it's the Falcon. It's like, yeah, but it's not fun.
Let's make a ship that does everything. Anyways, a characters versus characters game. Back to it. Ashes. Royal Charm gets an update.
I love this card. I hope I can play it. I hope it's a great card.
It's an action. No specific resource cost. The new one says after you pay a cost using a Charm or Divine die on its power side, so I guess it has to be those 2. You can place that die on this spell if it has no dice on it. So you can put 1 die on it after you use a Divine or Charm.
Spend it for something, it goes onto the Charm.
And remember, Charm you put on your units to buff them. No, that's the opposite now. Charm you put on your opponent's units to debuff them. And then Divine you put on your units to really lift them up and make them stronger.
And it also says just after you pay a cost using a Charm or Divine die. So even if you're just summoning with it or anything, it can go to the Charm. Yeah.
Then a side action exhaust. Choose a die on the spell and resolve its dice power without paying its cost.
Cool. So you can pay with the big Charm side or the big Divine side, put it on the Charm, and then use it to buff a unit or subtract from your opponents. That's so sick. I love that.
You're royally charmed. That was the article.
And you can do it as a side action.
Yeah, so you can summon a unit
as the main, put it there, and then throw the side action right immediately onto your stuff. That's beautiful. Hey, we got 3 cards. Let's look at them. All right, everybody. Let's say we were totally ignoring chat that entire time, so I apologize if you guys were saying things important.
They were just talking about the Falcon.
It's probably about half of the commentary on chat is way more important than what we're saying. Okay, so let's take a look, starting with Invigorate. Is that cool? Can we look at Invigorate? We'll see if we can get it up here.
Invigorate was the name of the new card. The old card was Mark of the Red Flower.
I have always been deeply bothered by this art.
Why?
Deeply bothersome to me.
Really? What?
There's something about it. It makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Is it the black hand?
No, can't really think about anything in particular.
I mean, the eyes are kind of evil.
It's just, yeah, it's like the proportions of it and everything. It's like I can't make heads or tails of it. What I can make heads or tails of is the fact that 6,000 angels just gained their wings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Play the music. I need a button. Or like some of that. Is it Gregorian?
Yeah, Gregorian chants.
Chant music.
Not the Mixolydian scale. The other one, dyadic or whatever.
That's way past where I'm at.
So the original one.
Whatever.
The new one, place 1 status token on up to 3 target units you control.
Hey.
That's totally different. It's great. I mean, I love it. Yeah, just put some... Can we just make it simple?
And status tokens don't do anything unless the card says they do something.
But then sometimes they will, and like, again,
yeah.
like,
like
you've got snake stuff.
Snakes, you can only have 1 snake, so...
This is also the way, this used to be, this is a way to evolve those chompers. The Indiglow creepers and whatnot, they still evolve, I think, into the seedlings and whatnot.
I think so.
So that's an easy way to get the status tokens. It makes sense. Invigorate the plants and let them grow.
With the
tails all this time.
Oh, it's not the red flower anymore.
No, it's Invigorate.
It's just Invigorate.
No, we don't know what the mark of the red. That could be a one that's coming down later. It could be a new one. Maybe it's a flavor decision.
Change it, yeah.
Yeah. So we've also got one of the premier cards that a lot of people liked in Ashes, the original, is the Imperial Ninja, getting an update.
Let's see it. Let's
take a look at that, shall we? Isn't this? We've kind of got this down at this point, don't we? All right, let's look at Imperial Ninja. So it used to be Snake and Heart, and now it's just 2 hearts. So that's going to be easier to play there. Had the interrogate ability when it dealt damage to a Phoenixborn by attacking, you named a card. You remember this? And the opponent that controlled it?
A card I was never good enough to play.
Let's get out here with that nonsense. Instead, interrogate now says the following, and I love this. I took a peek at it earlier. When this unit is declared as an attacker, look at 1 random card in an opponent's hand. Okay, so I pull a random card and I look at it. Then you can discard 2 off the top of your deck or discard that card. That's what it says, basically. I kind of paraphrase it for everybody, but...
So they get to pick, though.
Yes, they get to pick.
Yeah, they either discard 2, or if they discard less than 2, they have to discard that.
So I take a card out of your hand, I look at it, and then it's like, do you want to discard 2 off the top of your deck? Do you want to discard this card?
So you get information, and you either take a card out of hand or take 2 cards out of the deck.
That's right. Yeah, just a classic interrogation, really,
I like that a lot. It's a 2-2-1.
Classic 2-2-1. And it looks great, as always.
I feel like I'm starting to really appreciate... like, in my head, 1, 2, and 3 attack doesn't seem that big. But like that's what like almost all the units are.
Yeah, that's where the scale is.
You got to find a way to get 20-ish damage in with 1 to 3 attack units.
Yeah.
Unless you have a giant snake.
Got to find those openings. And again, yeah, it is as Chris is saying, hand control mill. This is a good opportunity for those of you who want to play a degenerate style of deck to mill your opponent up.
Got him.
Got him. They didn't see that one coming, did they?
Hey, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but not huge fans of mills around these neck of the woods.
Yeah, but I understand it.
In this game, it's way more acceptable to me.
Let's go to Devotion, final Devotion. Yeah, kind of like in Star Wars CCG where it's like, it feels okay. Devotion, look at this thing. So we did get more text, but we lost Respark. It's an inexhaustible, so I feel like that's at least breaking even because I don't have to worry about a different kind of effect to worry about. So you're going to put it on a unit. I'm going to paraphrase this for you just to make it easier.
Okay, thank you for bringing it down to my level.
I know you have difficulty comprehending card game text.
Reading comprehension is a lot. It's just a lot for me.
Attach it to a unit, and you're going to remove an exhaustion from that unit when you attach it. Right? It's a side action too, so this is really important. You get to side action unexhaust a unit basically by attaching this to it. But it's not all great because that means that moving forward, it cannot attack. So you're basically saying this thing is devotion. It's going to be my defender for the rest of the game. It can't attack, and you do not place exhaustions on it whenever it counters.
So if it blocks for you, it can counter, not exhaust.
Not exhaust. So it can keep blocking, particularly good on things like unit guard, right? Whenever it can get in front of all of your different things. It also is a surprise unexhaust that now you have a defender that they were like, oh, now's my chance. I'm going to unexhaust this thing, and now it can block and make your life harder. It also gives you +1 life and +1 recover. So this is really saying, I'm going to bless this unit, like even the Steadfast Guardian, right? It's a shoo-in for this card. Steadfast Guardian, although I don't think the Steadfast Guardian already doesn't exhaust a counter. Doesn't it? Doesn't it like framework? Can you pull Steadfast Guardian up, Bryce? I feel like it already had that text on it. Alert, yeah, it already has alert, so it doesn't exhaust a counter. So not a great choice for that card, but even like a Gilder or something.
It was a good enough choice that they just printed it on the card.
Yeah, right, exactly. But can you imagine having, this is going to be, okay, so to Chris Shorter, who is one of those mill degenerates that we're talking about, here's what you got to do. You run the Steadfast Guardians, you run Devotion, you put up a wall of units that nobody can get through, you make the game unfun for everybody, and then you play all the mill cards.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, come on, we've been around the block, guys.
But then what's the name of the card that I love so much? Hold on. Then all I have to do, I counter your counter with a counter.
Yeah.
You either can't block, or I play the, where's it at? There's the Divine card that kneels everything. Exhaust everything.
That's right.
I just exhaust it.
Or a Meteor. You could throw the Meteor.
Well, the Meteor is a little different now. But yes.
It is, huh?
No, you missed that. You missed last week's
I don't know anything about anything. No.
So last week I did the Angels, good or bad, you decide, work. I won't say which angel.
Angels 2020, you decide.
Where I took all the cards out that we couldn't use, and I also printed all the cards out that had been previewed through last week. Cut them all up, and those are all with the.
That was very nice of you. That takes a long time to cut those out. It's really annoying. Yeah. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Very nice.
My scissor hand is tired.
Trashorama with a question that matters here on Twitch. Does the Reborn stuff work with old Ashes stuff? Yeah, it does. In many cases, though, it replaces some of the old Ashes stuff. So there's an upgrade pack, which is the first release coming out. That's going to bring in like 250, 300 reprinted, reimagined cards from 1.0.
There's about a third of the card pool that was out.
That's right. So a third of the card pool is essentially in the upgrade pack, and it's going to replace anything of the same name and sometimes the same art because they've changed the names a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to replace those cards from your 1.0 collection, and then everything is up to date. So 2/3 of the 1.0 card pool is unchanged. 1/3 of it is changed coming in the upgrade pack, and then after that, it's all new releases moving forward. So we're off to the races. Oxyridor with a great point. Sun Sister not exhausting is huge, so you can heal each turn on that side action.
Yeah.
You gotta love that. Healing also breaks games, but sometimes it's really fun.
It's healing your units.
Yeah, and Ashes.
Healing your Phoenixborn is a little. That should be a steeper cost.
That would be
if you're gonna do it. There's a few things that do it, but it's really light.
All right, guys. What do we want to get into today?
You want to give me a top down?
All right, I'll give you the top down.
We can start doing it. Larry asking any update on the Reborn timeline. So we're expecting the reprints to show up in November, December. Same with the Reborn kit. The exact timeline to be determined based on all sorts of stuff.
We're also we pumped our bit rate up on the streaming here and in the audio as well. Is everything looking and sounding good? Can you guys give me an update as a tech? How's it looking at home? Watching on your phone or your TV, whatever. Fat Guy IT saying, I got called away to work today. Announced that they fully hit their 1,000 plus sub goal. We are just short of 2,000 right now. Not only did we hit that goal, we're blowing that goal out of the water because of all of you fine people.
That goal is gone.
Goal is gone. There isn't. The new goal is 16,000.
There is no goal.
Let's go get it.
The goal is fictitious.
But assuming that we stay at about the numbers that we're at right now, we'll keep printing the game indefinitely. Or, who knows? 2 years down the road, Plahat might say, all right, we think it's done. We think it's packaged up. It's good to go. And if they do that, then, well, we'll stop.
Then see you later.
That's right, yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, it's going to keep rolling. What is this?
Seeing the sound is good, both good, everything good, good. Who's that on Twitch saying, is that Jamrock or whatever?
It looks like Bradley saying, video has been stopping periodically. I can't tell if it's just me.
Could be that we're just pushing too much bandwidth at you. We got 5,000 bits flying your way every second. And actually, maybe kilobits. remember trying to explain megabytes to my mom when I was a kid, and I didn't even understand it.
You were just saying things?
None of us understood, but we walked away feeling better.
But Jeff saying, watching on TV, looking good, looking and sounding good.
Good, Jeff. Okay, great. I think we've got the audio solved. We switched to OBS. Guys, OBS is so much better than Wirecast. It's like embarrassing because it's free. It's like how Audacity can be so much better than Audition in some ways. Anyway, nobody wants to know these things that I'm saying.
Them's the break. All right, you ready to do this?
Yes.
So I'm going to start by looking at Odette and re-showing you what my deck was trying to do.
Oh my gosh, I just got distracted. That is a great username on Twitch, Thaco Bell. That is so funny. Thank you for doing that.
He's asking any timetable when the updated rulebook would be released. I think they posted it on their website, on plathead.com.
They've already done it?
Yeah, last week.
Oh, good. I missed the updated rulebook. You didn't tell me. You know how much I like rules.
Well, you know how much I don't care.
Yeah, that's
not about you liking rules, but about rules.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I don't.
This is Melania Trump's.
I mean, dude, when you let me fly solo for a week, I get pretty crazy.
Yeah, I got a little loopy.
Yeah, don't go back and watch those streams. I say a lot of very kind things about you, and just trust me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Ashes Reborn rulebook on the main Ashes. Like you click on games on their website, Ashes, and it's on the right side. I'm gonna link to it in the chat.
All right. Okay, let's look. What are we doing? Do I need to mess with that Soraya deck first, or can we engage in a group deck building process?
That's what I was planning on doing. So I have Soraya over here. So Odette, just to run it down, what I was thinking, and then we're kind of at the finish line with this deck, and then we'll go through these and start making decisions. I was amazed at how quick these decks come together once you get down to a small stack.
Yeah, stacks on stacks.
Odette first. She has
anything that's relevant needs to be like right here.
All right, this is Odette.
This is the special area. Okay.
The card's gonna pop, so it's good. And what's she say?
Odette, entering the fray. You can spend a main action and exhaust to deal 2 damage to a target unit and deal damage to this Phoenixborn equal to their attack value. So she can swoop in and take things off the board as a main action.
Yep. So the card I really keyed off of was this Emperor Lion. So
surprise face.
The Emperor Lion, when it comes into play, you can search your draw pile, reveal a ready spell with Law in the title, and place it into your hand. You can immediately play it, ignoring the action or side action cost, shuffle your draw pile. So he's a 3/3 that goes and gets a Law.
That's crazy. I mean, how much does this cost? This has got to cost like half your dice pool, doesn't it?
Summon Emperor Lion.
So 2 angels and a basic? That seems like a great deal. And you get a free Law in the play?
Well, you got to pay the cost.
Yeah.
You just ignore the action or side action cost to play the Law.
No time cost.
Yeah.
That's what we would say in the business.
So the Law I like the most is Law of Domination. It's an action and an angel, so if you're using it with the Emperor Lion, it just costs you an angel, no action, obviously. When it comes into play, choose an opponent to choose a unit they control, then choose a unit you control. Those units deal damage to each other equal to their attack value.
A little swip swap.
Yeah. This damage and damage from attacking or countering cannot be prevented.
Right on.
So
it's an immediate hit.
It's an immediate hit, and also it's damage that can't. It means damage for this whole round can't be prevented.
Right on.
So what I like about that is, if you play the Lion and he goes away, you need him to go away because you can only have one in play. To be able to keep putting him back into play to get Laws. So you want to put him into play.
Oh, so you're using it as a 3 damage nuke, basically.
Yeah, so you bring him in, you can get Law of Domination, and then he can literally, this hits immediately. So like let's say you have a 2 attack unit. He has 3 life. So
you're sending a Lion missile in.
He takes him out, and then he's down to 1 health. But then ideally, you do your turn, I come back, I can swing.
You swing for 3 again.
And if you want to get rid of him, fine.
Yeah.
Next round, I'm going to put the Lion back in, and we're going to do it all over again.
Yeah, I can't do that. Don't like that at all. Can you get the Law from your discard or from your deck only? Search your draw pile. Okay, yeah. So once all your Laws are gone, so you're looking to just you're looking at Laws that have an immediate impact with the Lion in particularly. And then after you've done that a few times, presumably the Laws are gone.
Well, so there's a bunch of Laws. So now the rest of my Laws are toolboxes.
Oh, Lord.
So this is my generically, this is what I want to do Law.
Right, yeah.
But I'm going to run down the other ones. So Law of Sight also didn't change, and it's a side action angel basic. When this spell comes into play, you can draw 2 cards. And
Can't hate that.
No player may play reaction spells. So if I'm playing against someone who I know has reactions I don't like, I can go get this and I get 1 turn. Most of these games are only lasting 3 or 4 turns.
Okay.
So I just have a reactionless turn. Next, we have Live.
That's your closer, too, if you need it, right? You play the Lion, no reactions, no funny business. I've got the game in hand. Let's go.
And it's also, because it's reactions that are prevented, a lot of my best cards, like Meteor, is an action spell. So I draw 2. If I know I haven't seen him and I need a card, I can just get 2 cards and then it's doing this thing. Next, we have Law of Fear, which was updated. And this has an angel. It costs an angel. When the spell comes into play, you place an exhaustion token on a target unit with an attack value of 0. While in battle, the attack value of all attacking units is reduced by 1.
Cool.
So if you flood the board with stuff and this is your big turn, I can play an Emperor Lion and it's -1.
That's great. This is such a great little toolbox that you can go with the Lion now. That's crazy. Now, Odette also, the divine stuff this is doing a really good job of getting rid of blockers, basically, because you know how a lot of these new units, particularly, are like 0 attack, 2 defense, unit guard kind of stuff, or 0 attack, 3 defense, and they're like really annoying. The Odette's ability just rolls in and is like, I'll just do 2 damage to this Gilder and take like 1 in return, and like that, I'm gonna clear the blocker, and now I'm gonna have a clear shot at getting your Phoenixborn.
Yeah, which will bring us back around to the Dread Wraith in a minute. But next is Law of Assurance. This was also updated. It costs an angel. When the spell comes into play, change all dice in your active pool to their class side, which is the middle value. Players may not reroll or change the level of dice in an opponent's active pool.
Very nice.
So if I'm playing against Illusion and I need a lot of angels to hit, it's like, this is a good turn 1, turn 2. I switch all my dice to the angel side, and I can roll out.
Yeah, because like dice, that's important. I do feel like we're going to go through our decks more. I think the game is going to get to the point where like we have very little draw pile left when it's over. As opposed, it used to be kind of like first turn, second turn, the game could very quickly churn.
Yeah.
I think from what we've seen and the simplification of everything, I think we're going to see a lot of games that are actually going to get to the point where you're taking damage from milling. Like, so having the ability to not waste meditates and instead just change all your dice to class is really going to be strong.
Yeah, super, super good. And then we have Power Through. Oh, that's not even...
It's not a law at all. It's just a card.
That should have not even
been
been
in my
stack.
stack. We don't need that.
So I basically had 6 laws and 1 Summon Emperor Lion spell, because you can only have 1 out. And then...
Yeah, let's not ignore the fact that you're leaning heavily on domination and fear.
I mean, angel of good or evil. I'll let you be the judge.
Yeah, a little domination, a little fear, a little love, a little hate.
Hey, I didn't make the cards. They just found me. You know?
I didn't create fear. I just want to utilize it. Hey, David Whitfield, good morning to you as well. Hope all's going well on your side of the pond.
Okay.
People still call it that? The pond? The Atlantic there?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other side of the pond.
I was watching, what show is it? Oh, Suits, which I've been watching.
Suits?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
It's like, you've seen Mad Men.
Yes.
Imagine set in the 2010s, law firm, but Mad Men. And also...
They drinking Four Loko instead of...
No. The main character is actually someone that you want to like.
Oh.
But he's very Don Draper-esque.
Okay.
But like, you know, Don Draper's not a good...
Yeah, he's got some heroic flaws. You know, traditional Greek hero flaws.
He's like gray area at best all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, so next is the Dread Wraith. So let's look at this and why this ended up in my thing.
Because it looks like a Dread Wraith is why.
I mean, I love the like kind of see-through fabric, of course.
But the old John Cena ghost.
Yeah, you can't see me. Anyways, 1 attack, 6 life, 0 recover, rage 1, add 1 of this unit's attack value for each wound on it. So what I really like about this is with the Law of Domination.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the problem with Dread Wraith is getting damage on it. And so this means that, let's say it has 1 token on it, so it's a 2 attack. I can trigger Law of Domination to make one of your units attack it and vice versa. And I might remove your unit and he suddenly becomes a 4 attack.
That's true. Wow.
Which I like a lot.
Yeah, you got good ideas here. You're pretty good at this.
Idea guys.
You're an idea guy.
Yeah, etc.
I'll pilot it to world.
So then we have a few other concepts here, which you'll recognize as things that I like that show up on a lot of my decks.
I guarantee it's going to have some divine magic involved.
Absolutely. Sword of Virtue, which is her signature card. That's destroy a target unit or remove all wound tokens and exhaustion tokens from a target unit.
My gosh, that is a good card.
You can imagine why I want to play Dread Wraith, right? It's like he gets to 4 or 5 damage on it. He's swinging big. I can clear the damage and the exhaustion and start over.
2 dice to remove any unit is crazy.
So it literally can remove someone, or it can clear off one on my
sideboard.
sideboard.
That's just crazy.
Phenomenal card. So I also have Enlightenment.
Don't sleep on the idea that you can sort of virtue your own lion to recast and get a new law either. That's going to be that like top 8, top table play,
Deep
and I'm going to go like, oh.
You can also, Odette doesn't say you have to target an enemy unit, so she can also target your own Dreadwraith or your Emperor Lion. So like if your board's clear and I have a Dreadwraith that can take 2, and then I can swing in with it next round, super good. I also have Enlightenment, so another way.
You do? That happened last week?
It did. You should have been here for it. Remove an exhaustion token from a target card.
Why? All of these cards are just fundamentally good.
That's what I'm playing.
You went through the collection and you chose the fundamentally good
That's
card.
what this stack is, which will be helpful for your deck building in a second.
Yeah.
It's a big stack.
You mean you've already chosen the good cards for me?
Yes.
Only run these, please.
Please include these. So then a couple other events that are worth Meteor. I love this card. Deal damage to all units, then deal damage to all units equals the number of lions you spent to play the spell. So technically that could be
great with Dreadwraiths, man.
It's so good, right? You're seeing
Ghosts
why
are good against meteors.
Yeah. And then of course I can't not put Holy Knight in because
looks great and has a great ability.
Yeah.
Are wraiths the same thing as ghosts? Also, Josh McIntyre. Hey guys, just stopping by to say my undone board arrived safely in Ireland today. Thanks a bunch. Thank you, Josh, for doing that. I know international shipping can be a complete pain with customs and whatnot, so appreciate you going through the trouble for that board. Glad it looks great, and goes to show you, anybody listening, we can indeed ship worldwide.
That's right.
Takes anywhere from 3 to 4 days to 7 years.
It's crazy sometimes. It's like we ship on a Thursday and it shows up in Ireland on Monday.
Yeah, it's like, how did that happen? And then sometimes it's like 16 weeks to get to like Germany. It's like, well, that seems
or
like,
Ohio.
Or Ohio.
Yeah.
The Germany of America. Not sure.
I'll kind of go with it.
There's some industry there. Some industry.
Anyways,
it's very efficient.
We're going to keep going down. So basically, as you can imagine, with Dreadwraith and the Lion that I need to clear to play again, I need ways to put damage on my units for a lot of reasons. So Redirect is a natural fit.
Oh, so good.
Which is, I can use the spell after my Phoenixborn is dealt damage. If I control at least one unit, choose a unit you control to receive that damage instead.
Yeah. You've got a really tight concept here. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
You basically got one concept, which is put damage on wraiths and then allow them to attack or defend or whatnot with Odette stuff. All in the process, you're putting damage on the entire board. So like your stuff's just going to outlast anything else on the other side.
Yeah, and I have ways to like ready my units.
Ways to ready them to attack, and then the secret sauce here is the lion missile coming in with the law of the day, basically.
Yeah. The law of the day.
Yeah.
Also, the shield mage got an update, which you didn't get to see last week. So the new shield mage. Side action angel basic defensive aura units you control cannot be targeted by attacks an opponent controls.
That's good.
So
I love the idea. Hold on. Can we hold on just a second? The idea of a shield mage is the kind of thing that to me is the best flavor I could ever imagine.
It's just a shield
just
magic
shields. Like that's so cool.
Them's the beats.
So cool.
But basically, this lets me take damage on my units on my terms. Like, you can't attack my units.
Right.
So when I get a Dreadwraith to 1 life left, I do not want you to be able to just come in with like a Gilder.
What about a frog die though? I'm gonna roll that frog die right in there.
You know,
snap that right up.
You gotta sometimes just take it.
Sometimes you know when to hold them, know when to hold them.
So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is 8 times 3, 24.
I love that shield mage art. Oh my gosh.
It's super good. I'm a fan. So I'm at 20, 24, 25, 26, I think.
Thomas asking the questions that matter here. What's the dice setup for this deck? Do you decide dice after the cards, or is it kind of a mutual process? Do they get along together?
I do both. I sussed this out last week when I was building. I'm trying to remember. So this is what I was looking at actually, is like what cards, as an example, where's Summon? Oh, they're right here. So looking at my summon, because you have your first 5, right? Like what are you starting with? And you want to be able to spend all of your dice in an ideal universe. To summon the Dreadwraith, I had to play 3 ceremonial at least.
And that's happening. You can't live without that Dreadwraith.
It's got to happen. And then I knew most of my cards are playing to the divine. Like so, summon Emperor Lion costs 2 divine. And then if you look at like most of my best divine cards, not my best, but like Meteor costs 2.
Aren't you only on divine after
Everything else
the
costs 1.
Dreadwraith?
So the thing is, redirect is
surprise
charm.
snake.
And then there was something else that I was playing. I had there's another card that's missing, which is what I have to go find now.
I was curious for my own. A wraith, the definition of wraith is actually a ghost or ghost-like image of someone, especially one seen shortly before or after their death. Now, it would be strange to see a ghost of somebody before their death, would it not? How's that going to work? Like it was already written in the stars kind of thing. Also, though, used in reference to a pale, thin, or insubstantial person or thing. So we've got a lot of wraiths working here at Covenant.
Got him. So the other thing is, when I thought I had another spell board, this is what it was.
Yeah.
I was using Hypnotize to be able to send my attacks past your units. So now the demand for charm is actually way lower because it's basically a redirect.
Well, it makes me want to put another charm card in here.
Well, I have 4 slots to do that with.
Or you could just use what about that royal charm?
That's in the short stack. What does the new one do?
So basically, whenever you spend a charm die or a divine die, typically on its highest side, instead of it going to your use pool, it goes to royal charm. One of them does, and then you can use it as its dice power to give a -1 or a +1 to your own thing.
The only problem with royal charm is it takes a spell board slot.
And it does.
She has a spell board of 3,
so
she can't play.
You got to have a law in your 2 summons.
Yeah.
So you're hosed on that one.
So
it's a spell board thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So that makes me like it. I want to run that card very much. What was that power through you kind of had you were flirting with?
Power through, the unit gains the following: Overkill 1 after it destroys a unit an opponent controls, deal damage to the Phoenixborn. So it's fine.
Hang on just a second.
That's my generically good pile right there.
Let's look at the generically good pile, as you said.
Yep, give me some charm.
Enchanted Violinist is good charm stuff, but I don't think it's really what you're looking for, so just trust me on that. Ooh.
Because I think this is where I ultimately want to land, is this pile. So 3 ceremonial, 2 charm, 5 divine.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I'm doing from ceremonial is summoning the Dreadwraith. Ceremonial is also going to let me get, what's the new ceremonial power die do?
You get an ally from your discard pile and put it into your hand.
And you do how much damage to yourself?
I don't think you do the damage anymore. I think that's what changed.
Search your discard pile for an ally and place it there. And your hand deal damage
just
to your
one.
Okay,
so
1. So that'll also, if I have Dreadwraiths out, because I can have 2, if I don't need to summon a Dreadwraith, I can also get these allies back, which is super good.
Oh, here you go. This fits your theme super well. Seeds of Aggression.
All right, so it costs a snake and an action. Choose a target unit you control and a target unit an opponent controls. These units deal damage to each other equal to their attack value. Yeah, that's super good.
You're right. You're right on target there with that one.
There was another... Stay on target. This is... I have other things to consider here too. Refresh is an action, a basic, and a heart. Remove all exhaustion tokens from a unit.
That's always good, isn't it?
Yes. There's Change Psyche. Remove an exhaustion token from a unit or place an exhaustion token on a unit.
That's also great.
Yeah, these were, I had this.
You told me you got the generics over here, but
well,
you didn't. You got
I had this with Enlightenment and Sword of Virtue. This is my Odette stack. So I had all of these like refresh stuff, and then I decided to go here because I was leaning divine.
I think that's about gonna cover it, man. You could. Do we have the new living doll anywhere? Yeah, there it is. Ooh. Will, are you sleeping on Living Doll? Have you seen Living Doll? Check that out. It's weird.
So a heart and a ceremonial and an action. Move a wound from this unit onto a target Phoenixborn.
It's interesting, right? You could do the little swap unravel and then start pushing.
Hit me with 1 living doll.
You got it in your hand there.
What? Do you have the actual card? Where I have a proxy. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 1 living doll, 1 seeds of aggression. So there's mild differences here that are really important. Refresh clears all exhaustion tokens. So it's really good if someone like really dumps a bunch of exhaustion onto the same unit. Change Psyche, you can either remove 1 exhaustion token or put an exhaustion token. Right. So it can be offensive. And then Seeds of Aggression is just doing its own thing. But I'm going to try 1 living doll here. And these are kind of my I might end up flexing to two of these. or 3 of one of these and a 1 of, but I'm just not sure which one I want to commit to yet.
Check out Call to Action.
You may play a spell after an opponent declares attackers, remove an exhaustion token from a target unit you control.
You give those Dread Wraiths a little more juice there.
So the thing about this, though, is that it would have to be a defensive. Like, you remove the exhaustion to block with.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a good way to get the damage on the Dread Wraith there. Like a Dread Wraith's exhausted, and then it blocks for your Phoenixborn, and then it gets 3, and then now it's like, oh no, the Dread Wraith's a 5 attack, and then you unexhaust it and go swing.
Interesting.
It's all good. That's the great thing about it. We're at the point in the game where like there's 16
where that's where we are
to 20 in your flex slot of like 3.
Yeah, well, that's right here. That's my
yeah, right. You got a giant stack of possibilities there.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stack these up. And we're going to move on to the next.
Now, are you only running 1 copy of all your summon spells?
Yeah.
You're not doing focus stuff or anything?
So I don't really have any focus abilities. I can only summon 1 lion. There is the possibility that the character gets, or the spell gets...
You can get 2 wraiths in, can't you? Yeah, but you can do that anyway. As long as you don't lose one every turn.
Yeah. But there's the possibility someone could focus down my spell, but her signature card can remove it. Mm-hmm. And I have 1 other card that removes it. So if they... focus down my lion spell and I need to do it again, I can technically find a way to get that back.
Yeah, you got a shot at it.
So there's a deck. It's complete. We'll sleeve it in a little bit.
That was it. What did you decide on your flex slot? That last one.
I have 4 1-ofs.
Oh my gosh, it's Zach at his finest.
That's right. Do you have are any of these 3 characters particularly appealing to you?
I actually was looking at Astria. We don't have the proxies of the newest cards, do we? The Astria cards that we just looked at? We'll do that next time then.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are our options.
These are the 3 that there's also Saria technically, but I haven't done this process for it.
I'm interested in Victoria. These were all from last week. I'm interested in Victoria. Victoria's weird, right?
Start laying it out.
Okay, so this is I kind of like it. This is kind of the Data Doll Mark II of Ashes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I feel like I just need to play this and learn it to be better at the game, even though I'm not particularly interested in the ideas. But I do love illusion magic just as a human being.
So what does she do?
Victoria Glassfire, the new, the Phoenixborn of Smogborough, has a battlefield of 5, a spell board of 5, and 18 health. So those are pretty strong numbers across the board. Surprise, side action, exhaust, and spin to mask. Reroll up to 4 dice in a target opponent's active pool. Reroll an equal number of dice in your active pool.
So you reroll their best side, you reroll your worst side.
It's a pretty strong side action.
It's just consistency.
It's consistency, and it's the ability to basically, how many times have you been looking at the board and said, if I didn't have to waste time on this meditate, I could actually go do something important. Now, the funny thing is, like, she's already using a side action. She could be using that side action to meditate 4 dice and get 4 off the top of the deck to guarantee results. So you have to actually find that perfect window where you need dice to be different and you need your opponents to be worse, which is kind of the game of Ashes. So yeah, I guess it's not terribly hard.
I feel like, especially early on in any turn, you're going to always have at least a couple dice you would like to reroll because they're basics.
Yeah.
And you can threaten with, and your opponent's probably going to have high value sides.
I probably use her ability like first thing.
Early.
Yeah, pretty early. But it does make me think, so what's the the downside to changing your dice to lower values, hopefully, is that, and I'm using illusion magic, so you should have to meditate a lot to do your game plan.
Yeah.
But if you're doing that, that should mean that I'm ultimately kind of leaning into a mill strategy. Because the only disadvantage there is that you're now having to waste time on meditates, which is draining your deck, which should allow me to stall the game out until you run out of cards. That's kind of the illusion thing, is it not? Am I wrong?
I mean, it can be. The reality for me, though, is like, the side action being able to make your dice better and make your opponent's dice worse, it's generically good.
Yeah, it is generically good.
So, like...
And sometimes you have a stack of side actions that you can't get them all done because now I've got to meditate to do this, but then the turn's over by the time I get there.
So I feel like part of it, too, is like your opponent is just going to have to take more side actions to meditate.
Yeah.
And so, like, that should hopefully just slow them down.
Yeah. It makes me wonder, I wonder if I should try to do as few main actions in the deck as possible to try to do a fast turn so that you won't have the ability to do main action, side action, main action, side action, but you'll eventually run out of your main actions and you still have 6 side actions stacked up that you want to do. That has happened in Ashes Reborn to us. Now, looking at Copycat, I actually get very excited about Victoria.
I really love Victoria.
I love this ability. So this is the signature card. I get 3 of these in the deck. Play it after an opponent resolves an action spell or Phoenixborn ability. Copy it. Which is so good without paying its cost or anything. So you spend 1 basic to copy something that might be 3 or 4 dice for you.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got to play weird against Victoria. What a threat. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Okay. I'm just going to start organizing these cards by type. You want to hand me that stack?
Yeah, check out. And then just with these 2 cards, what we're actually looking at here is just good value. I'm going to be playing your best spells for cheaper, and then I'm going to be making you waste time moving dice, and my dice are going to be better than yours on average. So I would assume that we're just kind of playing fundamentally good exchanges throughout the course of the game.
Which is, I feel like, right up your alley.
It's everything I want in a game. I'll be right back.
Bye. You just don't come back.
I just never. And I quit.
But really though, just kidding. All right, I'm just getting these basically sorted by card type, so it's going to be easier for us to look these down. All right, there's the discard. There it is. Are there any cards that you think are a must include in Victoria right now? Oxyrador, important note, and this is something that a lot of people get wrong, which is signature cards like Copycat are not mandatory but cannot be played by other Phoenixborn. So Victoria is the only person that can play Copycat, but she doesn't have to play Copycat. Chris saying Copycat is far more interesting than Illusionary Cycle. What was Illusionary Cycle? Oh, it's the old version of Copycat. So the old one says, select an illusion die in your exhausted pool and place it into your active pool on a side of your choice. Shuffle this card into your draw pile. Yeah, that's fine. That's obviously powerful. Spend an action, get a die back, shuffle it back into your deck. You could just keep doing that potentially. But the removal of dice recursion is something that definitely happened in Reborn, which I'm a fan of for sure.
I like just yelling insults at Rafe as I walk through.
Across the way.
Across the way, yeah.
All right, so what's your...
You just sit in silence while I was
it was a moment of silence for your break. No, we were talking about the old version of Copycat that was basically, it let you get dice back.
Boring.
Yeah.
I love the idea you're playing against Victoria and you're just at every moment, you're like, she could just do the thing that I'm about to do right back to me.
Yeah.
That is like such a good threat, and it feels very fitting for an illusionist.
Especially for 1 basic, it's crazy.
I love illusions. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till illusionist hits in Flesh and Blood. I'm going to die with happiness.
Well, you might be in the right place then. So I'm going to start you out with your, at least the cards I identified specifically that were interesting for her.
Okay, let's look at the Summon Shadowhound. So this is basically, I mean, the long and short of this is it's an illusion summon. So it makes it into the deck, I think. When it's focus 1, you can deal a damage to a unit. When it's focus 2, deal a damage to a unit. So that's just a great board clear for me. Absolutely great. So this is a spell I actually want to focus. Because like casting this 3 times in a turn, how many can I have? 2? So I can cast this probably 2. If one of them dies, I can maybe get 3 instances of doing 2 damage every time I cast it.
Now, that said, it costs you 3 to place a Shadowhound.
3 masks?
3 masks.
Yeah, so that would be my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. Here come the hounds. So let's look at Shadowhound.
But still, focus twice, 2 free damage is crazy.
It's a 3/1 unit. It has concealed, so it can't be targeted by nonsense, and it cannot be guarded against. That's crazy. You said crazy, kind of like Rodney. A little Canadian flair there. That's crazy.
Eh?
Eh?
Yeah, that's a real.
I love Canada, by the way. I went to British Columbia, I think it was.
BC? Oh,
BC?
Up above Washington
BC?
State?
Yeah, it was great. I had a great time. Everybody was very, very happy.
West Coast Canadian?
So, Shadowhound. 3 attack, 1 life. Basically, you can't do anything about it, and you can't block it. So it's just a 3/1.
And if it's focused, it's free damage when it enters play.
So this is kind of just a universally great... You want to buff this thing, don't you? Should we look at how to buff the Shadowhound for a big, like, 6 or 7 unblockable attack kind of a situation?
Can't be guarded against. So does that mean that like
unit guard.
Unit guards can't block?
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, let me think about this for a second. Guarded is different than
blocking.
Blocked. So the Phoenixborn steps into guard, right?
I assume that's unit guarding.
Or units guard and Phoenixborn block. Nick, help. Nick, you're there. Nick, PhD, dice recursion.
That was from previously. Jared's saying BC born and raised here.
Awesome, Jared. Great. You got good stuff. I'm trying to get to Squamish at some point to do some hiking or climbing or something. So let's see. Hold on. I know this. I
can grab the rules.
Don't you feel like Phoenixborn are guarding and units are blocking?
I thought Phoenix, maybe.
But that wouldn't make sense.
Nick's saying, what's the question? So Shadowhound says, concealed, this unit cannot be targeted by attacks. It says stock, this unit cannot be guarded against.
Yeah, blocking versus guarding. Difference between guard and block. Units have to guard, or unit guard is just a really poorly named ability. Yeah. Units guard, Phoenixborn block.
I assume the Shadowhound can attack a unit, and it can't be blocked by another unit.
Phoenixborn can't step in and say no, right? Does that make sense? That makes sense to me. So he's a unit killer, which makes sense given the theme of the card. It's stalking around the battlefield, and then it jumps out and wrecks you.
Nick says, Phoenixborn and unit guarders guard when attacking a unit. Blockers are when you attack a Phoenixborn.
Okay.
So guarding is when you're protecting units. So he can't be stopped when he's going at a unit.
So he can... This is insane. Just that you can literally, in a world where you can do 2 damage to something and then attack with Shadowhound for 3 unblockable and do 5 to a unit, essentially out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That seems really good. Let's do more of that. I like that. Okay, Shadowhound's definitely in my I like that pile.
Yeah, he's good.
Let's look at the Shadow Spirit. It cost me 1 wolf. No focus ability, so that could be a 1 of. Trickery 1 is a 2/1 unit here, the Shadow Spirit Conjuration. Declared as an attacker, lower 1 die in a target opponent's active pool 1 level. I think I'm going to have to play into this.
I mean, the cool thing about this, whether it's focused or not, depending on your battlefield, is a single wolf for a unit is good.
Yes.
Like 1 die for a unit is strong.
And if you have 3 of these out, and I can just attack, lower a die, attack, lower a die, you're going to keep meditating, attack, lower a die.
Well, how many can you have out?
You have 3.
Yeah. If you have 3, if you attack with all 3, you could lower 3 dice all at once.
Isn't that crazy? Huh. This is going to be a weird deck. I like it. I like how weird it's getting.
Watch out for meteors. If you want to put the actual cards behind,
yeah.
when we proxy into sleeves, it'll make it super easy.
All right, summon False Demon. It costs a mask and a basic, so 2 dice to put one on the battlefield. Nothing too fancy there. When it comes to play, deal a damage to an exhausted unit, and it's a 2/2. You can only have 2 on the battlefield.
So the thinking there was like, especially if you have that Shadowhound focus, they both just do direct damage.
Yeah.
And then this Shadowhound can't be dealt, like you can just control the board. Basically.
A lot of damage on the board, basically. Then we got Body Inversion, a ready spell that can roll on that spell board. It's a side action to put it on the board, and then it's a side action and an exhaustion to cast, as well as a little mask there. Swap a target unit's printed attack value with its printed life value for the remainder of the turn. That could just be such a Bugatti spell. It's crazy.
So my thinking when I was stacking these cards up was basically, if you can do a couple free damage and you can't be stopped when you're dealing with this, you can deal with these really nasty units. Because especially the really high health stuff usually only has a 2 or 3 attack.
Yeah.
So regardless, you get 1 damage on something that has 1 attack and you flip their stats, they go away.
Yep.
Which is like a super easy way to just deal with the board. And it was really just all about like board control.
You're not wrong. So, you know what? What's good?
Here's another stack.
That Flash Archer is going to be interesting too, because doesn't it come in and like actually do an attack basically?
Read it for me. That's the 1 ally in the stack.
Double shot 1 side action. So you spend a main to drop it in for 4 dice, and then you spend a side action to immediately. Basically, this is how it works in real life. Deal a damage to a unit, then deal a damage to a unit. That's so good.
You get the idea of what's. I look at your
You're
face.
You're playing Burn over.
And you're like, Burn. So, well, you don't have to play her. I was looking through her cards and I was like, how would I? I've never built Illusion. and I was like, how would I build something I want to play out of illusion? It was like, oh, this is how.
A lot of Ashes is burn at this way. It's just damage exchanges.
Yeah. Now the other thing you might end up looking at, and this is we'll see where you go. It's where the generic good cards come in, is the natural magic type that does unit burn.
Oh, the frogs.
It's nature.
Yeah.
So anyways, go ahead.
Illusion in nature is definitely in the pocket.
Yeah.
Vanish is a cancel spell. I'll probably end up running this, but I'm not going to start with it. I don't know Ashes well enough to know. The thing that always bothers me about cancels, and this is just theory, I always have this problem in Thrones too. You're basically saying the opponent's effect has to be stronger than any effect that I would put in the slot of Vanish. And I would rather just put a stronger effect in the deck than cancel. Now, there are times when it's just incredible, and I understand that.
Well, there also, you have, a lot of these illusions are 1 health.
Mm-hmm.
So the concern was like, if they have an AoE 1, you just do not want that to ever happen. The other thing is, the reason it's in the stack is it's a wolf and it's got her on it. So it's like, I'll just put, literally it was just put her cards here as I'm going. So it's just there.
It does, it's a kind of interesting wording. After an opponent targets you or your Phoenixborn with a spell. So if it targets a unit, you couldn't cancel it, right? Because you can't vanish. Only Victoria is vanishing. There's not an ability to stop it on the unit. So yeah, let's leave it out. Don't like it.
Yeah.
Figures in the Fog. It's a reaction spell. 1 wolf to cast. Play it after an opponent declares attackers. Choose a target attacking unit and exhaust it. It's no longer attacking. Well, that's great.
You pulled out all the good cards.
Get right out of here.
And it's got her on it, so you know.
Yeah. And also, this looks a lot, Figures in the Fog looks a lot like the Flash Archer.
It might be.
It's the same thing.
It's a Flash Archer, not Victoria at all.
Flailing around all stupid, like a stupid head. And then she says, stings a little more the second time, doesn't it? Ah, very witty. Then we have Shadow Strike. I always love this card. This is Noah on here, isn't it? Mm-hmm. 1 wolf. You will play it after an opponent declares attacker. It deals 3 to a target unit that opponent controls that is not attacking. I love this card.
The whole theme of like just damage on their units. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because there's a burn version that I think it's Brennan is a lot of these cards. It's direct damage to Phoenixborn, but this is like so much damage to their board. Yeah, it's awesome.
Strange Copy reaction spell. There's too much to this one. This is one of those that I just don't want because I don't want to read it. Basically, after they declare attackers, you totally copy one of your units into their unit, and then it stays that way for the turn. I get it. Trust me, it's great. But I'll just say it's like that. It's like that stuff in. It's like Twist Allegiance in Skytear. It's just like.
So my thinking with that was that you have those cheap shadow spirits, and you can literally morph them into anything.
Turn them into great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. To Shadows, it's a side action and wolf for me. Discard a target exhausted unit. Seriously? Any target exhausted unit for a side action? That's just too good. That's like the answer to things that like I can't do damage to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you had that old spell that you like to play all the time, which is where like the guy's half disappearing. You always put it on my snakes.
Yeah, the one at the end of the turn they go away. Yeah. What is that called? The disappear, not vanish, fade away.
Fade away. Yep.
Let's look at Hidden Power here. Draw a card. Change 5 dice in your active pool to a side of your choice. I like this a lot.
It's super good.
So I'm just we're playing an efficient game here. Sleight of hand. Draw 3 cards. Is there a world where like my game plan is to just actually take super long turns well after you're done? You think? Like I'm drawing cards, I'm changing dice to their most effective sides, and I'm just kind of slowly moving through a turn until you run out of steam, and then all of a sudden here comes the pain kind of situation?
I think it's possible. The draw 3 out of illusion is something that you don't see a lot of.
Yeah.
But again, you only have 10 resources. So if you're using 2 of them to draw 3, you're going to need an 8 resource turn that can extend for a long time.
Yeah. Ooh, Seal. Ooh, good choice. Choose a ready spell on a target player's spell board. Place an exhaustion token on it and each copy of the chosen spell on that player's spell board.
Yep.
How annoying is that?
You just lock them out. So like you can imagine,
meditate to get to where you can cast the spell you want and then you lock the spell out.
Now, technically, if I if I meditate, I can usually use one
Immediately
action.
use, yeah.
But a lot of times when I'm meditating, I'll meditate so I can do multiple things because I don't want to have to waste side actions on meditating. So you can just seal them out of a game, obviously.
That makes a lot of sense. So I think that the basically kind of the things that are forming up here that are obvious are the shadow spirits combined with Victoria's ability. And that's basically making your dice worse. So those are really the things that are doing that. Now, what's the real advantage? Copycat is just generically good. We're going to run that.
Yeah,
so how can we maximize the benefit of making the dice economies in my favor every turn? Like, do we need to play a long game where you have to meditate your way into nothingness and I just keep nuking your units and you keep meditating and I keep nuking your units?
Well, I think what's really going to happen, if you picture a 3-turn game, let's say I meditate, change 3 dice. You go, you exhaust, and I'll use some of them. Then you go and you re-roll my 4 best dice.
Yeah.
One gets back to a good side, the other are going to be worse. You're just putting some pressure there on... And if you're also doing a really good job of just like getting their units off the board, that's where I like the damage, then they basically are going to move slow. And eventually you're going to get to the point where they don't have cards left in their deck, where they're low. Meditating is not an option.
Yeah.
So then
the dice are just constantly bad.
You use your ability, I roll them down, use your shadow things to switch them down. And it's like, I don't have a choice anymore.
And then you just get worse.
Then they just have awful end game.
So we kind of need we're kind of playing a longer game here. I think that's really the key.
Which is where like seal is really good. When you draw seal and you're going first, it's like, I'm going to lock your best unit out this round and you're just going to have a bad round.
Yeah.
Like that's so, and like also going first, if you side action to reroll their 4 best dice and you lock out their best spell, it's just like, how infuriating.
Annoying. And you also have just classic illusion dice that if you do things like hidden power, you hidden power like 5 illusion dice into their highest side. Side action, drop 2 down. Side action, drop 2 down.
It's so frustrating.
So I think hidden power needs to get in here. I think we're going to play the frustrating illusion deck. I think we've done it. So hidden power, these are all of our kind of like dice manipulation cards, which is really, and let's put seal in here too. This is like the I never want to play Ashes again suite. This is kind of what we're working with here.
Yep.
So that's going to be annoying. Do you think getting 3 Shadow Spirits out is feasible? Do you think we should run 3 copies of the spell and focus it out to get 3 out?
I think it's totally, you're going to start with 1, obviously. And then like, we've been going through our decks most games.
Yeah.
So like, you will eventually get 2 or 3 of them, especially if you're not having to meditate.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
So if we do Shadow Hound as well, and we're probably going to focus this one out, so include all of the summon Shadow Hounds. We do have a lot of 1 life things here. So is there anything in the game, is there anything in the card pool that's going to solve, like, gives +1 life to everything? Because I could run nature here too to do direct damage, and I feel like there's nature cards that buff the entire battlefield.
Let me look through the short stuff.
If I remember correctly, it's like in the Koji pool, it's like +1 life to everything. You guys know there out in chat, any cards come to mind that are going to solve like a bunch of low health units being on the board?
There's also like prevent 1 damage to all your units stuff.
That's helpful.
Let me see if I can find it.
And then is this stack done? That's irrelevant?
That is irrelevant, yeah.
Okay. Let me see if there's anything here in the Jessa deck too, because I feel like she might be doing that. Those blood puppets, I forgot about that. Super good. Molten Gold, let's not sleep on Molten Gold. Just 3 wound tokens with frogs. And Ice Trap doesn't much matter. Mist Typhoon and Nature's Wrath deal 1 AoE. Particle Shield helps protect against pings. So Particle Shield?
That's in your other deck. Let me grab your Saria deck.
Oh, it is in Saria, isn't it?
You could also... Can they have attachments? Because you could like play upgrades on them that give them like life.
Yeah, I'm really into that.
This was your Saria deck.
Man, Blood Chains is good too. Ooh, hey, check out. Oh, that's Brennan's signature. No wonder it's so good. I was looking at that Black Cloud Ninja. It also locks down their ready spells.
The Particle Shield, I think Particle Shield got updated, right? Let's look at Particle Shield real quick.
Root Armor. There's always Root Armor, Nick. That's a good suggestion, and it probably makes sense you would know that.
Yeah, the new Particle Shield, you may play the spell after a unit you control is damaged, prevent 1 damage from being dealt, draw a card.
Yeah, and it's 1 mask, so it's already in the pocket. I think 3 Particle Shields is there. You know, I don't really want to go into Ceremonial either.
You only have 1 in this deck? Crazy.
Cover. You draw, deal 2 damage to your unit. Final Cry is good. I mean, all these Ceremonial cards are pretty good.
Not bad.
They're all good, actually.
Okay. Hold on. Let me find the printed Particle Shield.
I wish I could play these Salamander Monks. They're too funny. And I guess I could, right? Like, I could have one die in there for it.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you like.
What's this thing?
Is this are these real cards?
Yeah, those are real. That's Odette's. That was my Odette shortstop.
Oh yeah, well, I like
Feel
all
free.
of those. I like all of these cards. I definitely feel like I should get into Nature Magic.
He's going to the ground.
Yeah. You know, it's tempting just to run like Sleeping Bear. Just get a 4/4 out. Just be like, well, this is my closer. It's going to take a while because he's got an unexhaust, but...
Yeah, Root Armor is just +1 life for a leaf. It's funny.
It's not enough, is it?
After it's dealt damage, prevent 1.
Oh, that's better. Let's do that. Let's do 3 of those. Let's just see what that looks like. Mass Heal's not going to work because they're all going to be dead. Maybe, is there any kind of unit guards you think that matter?
I mean, I think your biggest concern is going to be someone that plays like an AoE.
Maybe this
Dude,
is...
massive growths are interesting. +4/+4, you can only play it if they have a attack value of 2 or less. So you just make them up. I'll just put it there.
Wait, +4/+4. Are you kidding?
It goes away at the end of the round.
Okay. I actually like that quite a bit. This deck might play Iron Rhino.
Maybe.
That might be the closer. After basically how you cash in on all of the economy. Waste time, waste time, waste time, and then drop the Rhino and swing for 7.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. Okay. And then I think we probably will stick with False Demon and whatnot too, because we've got a pretty big spell board. And we're currently using 1, 2 of the spell board. 3 if we throw the False Demon in there. And I do like that conjuration. I played just because one more from the draw pile. You may spin one of it. Oh, I got to do Enchanted Violent. Oh no, it's new now.
Yeah, you got to read the printed version.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing different controls. If that destroys unit after you destroy that target must. I mean, it's tempting to run the new one though. I think I'm finding this now.
Enchanted Violinist.
Yeah, so you got to run the heart for it, obviously. But side action, deal a damage to a target unit. if it destroys it, you can discard one off the top of their draw pile. So again, you're just kind of like
putting that weird
churning,
pressure.
yeah.
Yeah, so you have the violinist, and then you're already going hard a little bit here with Seal.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Something else was triggering off of it as well. The other thing is you can charm them out. You can also, you could divine yourself up, but I don't think that's going to be worth the investment.
I don't think it is either. All right, so we've got 3 spells so far. Shadow Spirits, Shadow Hounds, and False Demons. We've got 2 slots left, which I do feel like maybe we should do. There's honestly simply starting with 1 Summon Iron Rhino, and then by the time it starts to grind down, I don't know, do you literally drop 6 dice and just throw a Rhino onto the board? Like
maybe.
There's a world where that makes sense. It just feels awkward.
Where is the Iron Rhino?
It's right here.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure you have it.
And something very
all ceremony.
Something very cool about just having that surprise Rhino.
The Rhino.
Yeah, boom. Here I am. I feel like I need one more spellboard spell. Oh, body inversion could be the spell here. Yeah. Swap printed attack value with its printed life value for the remainder of the turn.
It's pretty good.
I think that's important. Let's do it. Are those my 5 spells?
And if you want, these are the cards that are still here with us, but they didn't make it into my stack. If anything is...
I think I'm going to go with Root Armor. We got the new Root Armor, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah. After this unit is dealt damage, prevent 1 damage from being received. Yeah. I do like this. I like this Root Armor a lot.
Were you into Particle Shield?
I think so. I think we can at least look at it.
I'm trying to find...
The new copy?
There's one here from your deck, but I'm not sure where it went.
I think Massive Growth is absolutely a shoo-in for this. +4/+4 to your False Demon or your Shadow Spirit, and then all of a sudden swinging. I think that's right.
It may make the need for an Iron Rhino
non-existent. In fact, it's already gone. It was out before it was in.
It tried.
Removes the bear need to. I think we've got the 1, 2, 3. How many cards we get? 30?
Mm-hmm.
Nick, you're correct. Yeah, we're playing with the spoiled, updated cards and then all of the unchanged cards as well. Does Massive Growth change in Reborn? I imagine that would have been in one of the earlier articles with the core set, so I assume it didn't. So 1, 2, 3. Probably only need 1 body inversion, right? Although, if you had 2, you could be an invertin.
Yep.
We were invertin.
It's going to be really annoying to deal with your...
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Hey, now that you're on Nature's Path...
Yeah.
There's some cards you should be looking at. Mist Typhoon being one of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. Do you know how cool it is to do illusion and water?
You did it.
We have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. So we get 10 piles, 10 stacks.
10 of 3 if that's where you're going.
That's where I'm starting at least. I don't think Root Armor is going to be the trick here. I just don't.
One thing to think about, I don't know if you have spellboard slots or not.
I do. I have 1.
Is the Butterfly Monk.
Is it Unit Guard?
So it costs a frog, and then it has Unit Guard. It's a 1/1/0, but then when it's destroyed, you can remove a wound from either your unit or your Phoenixborn.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about living a long time.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go with the Monk.
Just going to hand that over to
Probably one of... Yeah. Yeah, I love the Butterfly Monk, 100%. That's the correct choice. Fun. Great stuff.
And we should have Particle Shields somewhere. Good luck with that one. And make sure it's not in here.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
There they are.
This makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. And we get 30?
Yep.
So I've got 1 slot left.
Don't forget these things.
I think it's the Flash Archer.
These were cards you didn't want. The Flash Archer is so good. Like, so good.
So good?
It's so good.
So good.
So good. Did I mention so good?
Okay, so I think Sleight of Hand is out. That's just not in the cards right now. I need your help choosing between 2 Shadows, Figures in the Fog, Flash Archer. Sorry, Bryce, there's like a ton of cards I'm throwing at you.
Bryce, can you hear us?
Shadow Strike, and this.
Is our audio dead?
No, we're good. We live. Live at 5. It was the call. I think it's your Google call. All right, chat, tell me this. This is what I need. I need to know. So my conjurations are, I've got Shadow Spirits, False Demons, and Shadow Hounds. These are kind of my bread and butter. Shadow Spirits playing into my, basically making your dice worse, the efficiencies.
I like the theme too, all the illusion stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
False Demon is coming in and doing damage to units. Also is a strong 2/2 attacker. It pairs really well with Massive Growth to become a 6/6 for the turn. Very strong. We've also got Shadow Hound. These are going to do direct damage when you summon them. They're also kind of a closer that can also do 3 damage to units, get things off the board. Butterfly Monk helps to keep these low health things alive. And then Body Inversion is kind of the answer to things that are problematic, that have a lot of health and low attack. I can still get them off the board if Zach plays those kinds of units. So that's kind of my spell board.
I like that a lot. How cool is that?
I love it. Yeah, I love it very much. Then we've got Copycat, which is just my signature. That's just such a universally good card. It's phenomenal. Then we're doing Seal to provide further annoyance and pressure on turn economy and dice action. Hidden Power, change of 5 to the active side of my choice. That gives me access to illusion die that are going to then drop Zach's dice down to annoying sides. We've got Mist Typhoon, which is a good way to deal with swarmy stuff, because I do have... Now, I already have a lot of good pings for 1 damage here and there.
But I feel like they stack to be insane.
They do, yeah. If you do 1 to everything, and then you summon a thing, and then you do 3 more.
If you main action 1 to everything, side action Flash Archer for 1 and 1, it's like all the 1s go, and you can get 2 2s off the board.
That's true.
Or if you summon the Shadow Hound, do 1 or 2, play a miss. It's like all these 1s mean that you're just going to keep the board.
Just keep it manageable, right?
Which you're just basically wanting to get them down to no deck so they can't meditate.
That's right.
And then abuse your ability to just make them, at the end of the game, be crippled.
I like it. Then we got Massive Growth is happening. So that's all looking good here. So we're at 3 times 5, that's 15 plus 12, so that's 27. So we've got a slot for one of the following. Enchanted Violinist comes into play. We got to add a heart to do that. Does anything currently have hearts that we need?
Seal?
Seal is our only other heart, I think, right now. So we're probably going to run 1 charm die, maybe 2 charm die, especially because I can -1 your stuff. So Enchanted Violinist is a good reason to run another heart there. Play it, comes into play. It's another 1/1/1. It's just going to be annoying. It does direct damage on a side action, and then it continues to mill your deck. So this fits very well into the theme. Shadow Strike, 3 damage to something that's not attacking. I don't think this is as relevant as it needs to be. It is a big source of damage, so it could go like really heavy into this is a unit that I really need to take care of.
I think you have that covered though.
But over like a Flash Archer, I don't think I would choose it.
Yeah.
Then we got Flash Archer.
Dude, Flash Archer with that 4 attack is wild.
Comes in with 4 attack. It does 2 damage pretty much instantly, especially whenever I have a board that should be pretty well wounded. Flash Archer can come in and seal the deal. So that makes a lot of sense. Figures in the Fog, you declare attackers. I choose one of those attackers and exhaust it. It's no longer attacking. I don't think that's necessary. I think we're dealing with killing rather than controlling.
You're just taking them out. And
then to Shadows, discard a target exhausted unit. That's going to be a good way to get rid of something that is hard for me to deal with the damage that I'm spitting out. So that's about the only thing that I would consider.
Yeah.
It's probably this or Flash Archer.
You could also look at if you have some of your 3-up spells that you really, because you're going to start with them, that don't need to be 3s. Like, can you get away with 2 body inversions?
Yeah, I think you could do 2.
And then, basically looking at
carve out. That gives us like a 2 and 2 there.
Isn't this a 1? You only have 1 here.
I only have 1. Yeah,
so that's 3 slots open.
Well, I had 12. I'd already accounted for it. I've got 2 false demons. I've got 1 butterfly monk. So these together are a 3 stack.
Okay.
So this is 3, 6, 9, and then I had 12 on body inversion. We can go to 11 on body inversion, or we could just literally just have 1 in the game, and we can do it once per turn, and just call that good. That we can always invert once per turn. So then that opens up where we basically got what 9, 10. So we can pull in 2 flash archers and 3 to shadows, or 3 to shadows and 2 flash archers.
Yeah, I mean this is expensive, so that's the flash archer is a pretty good 2 of.
Yeah, let's do 2 there.
4 dice is a lot.
And then we've got the wolf, where if I don't need to change your dice down, I can discard a target exhausted unit. That seems like a good control option. Let's go there.
Okay, I say we sleeve these up and play.
Let's play, man. Let's play one.
And then you want to keep your short stack.
Yeah. Short stack over here. All right, this is it's such a fun deck building experience for this one. It's so fun.
I really like being, like once I went through that process to get 4 decks at this stage, where you're making a lot less decisions all the time, that's how deck building is going to ultimately feel in general.
No, man, you have 6 in different area codes, man. It's insane.
Yep. Always ready.
Anybody use Legion shields?
Like the sleeves?
Yeah, Legion shields. Legion sleeves.
I know where they're at.
We've been kind of looking at those. We saw some this weekend and used them, or yesterday. That's what I mean by this weekend. And they're pretty good.
Speaking of sleeves in different area codes, here's some clears for the Conjurations and Phoenixborn.
Don't make them easy to open, do they?
International shipping, etc. So I put my Phoenixborn and my Conjurations in clear so that they don't get shuffled in.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
You put that in your short stack.
Ooh, Shifting Mist is pretty attractive too.
Always. Always has been.
Oh, Secret Door is good too.
Yeah, people were mentioning that in the chat.
I kind of already have that built in.
What's it do?
It's choose a target unit you control with a life value of 1. It cannot be blocked for the remainder of the turn.
Yeah, you do already kind of have that.
Kind of have that already
pre-built.
Chris saying Legion makes fun art sleeves. That's what everybody says about him. How did this butterfly monk get in cahoots with all these weird illusions?
You just never know where you're gonna end up.
I don't know how, but I like it.
Yeah, you gotta have a little light in the dark.
That's right. It's the only way you know what the darkness is.
That's right.
And now you got to choose your first 5. Now we're getting somewhere. That's exciting.
I'm looking at maximizing those resources.
Yeah.
Dude, this Holy Night every time.
Your entire, that's the crazy thing is, your entire, you could spend hours just trying to tweak your first 5.
That's what last time we were kind of getting on, which is basically running the first turn back several times.
That makes a lot of sense.
So that you can, because we could basically play it where we play through the first turn and restart, because who got the better of the first turn.
Yep.
And basically understanding what your first 5 should be, what your order of operations should be if you're going first or second. I feel like people that are good at this game would very much be doing that exact thing, when they're prepping for a tournament.
Yeah, it's almost like your chess openings.
Absolutely.
Well, it's exactly like that. It's okay, so if you Queen's Gambit, here's my response. Did it, halfway through the game, is that ultimately the right line, or should I choose this other line instead?
Yeah.
And if I choose that line, then you should choose this line, and then it's the worst. It's cool. Game's interesting. Okay, then we've got Shadow Hounds. What's up, Adrian from Denmark? Good to see you.
Michael's saying, how does first 5 work in a tournament? Do you have it locked in, or do you see their Phoenixborn first? So you see their Phoenixborn first. You see yours, they see, you see theirs, they see yours, and then you each get to pick a starting 5. So it makes it really easy to throw in some tech cards if you have a bad matchup or. But you know the cool thing about most of these Phoenixborn is that they're absolutely, you're not locked in to a specific like even magic type usually with a Phoenixborn. So there's no telling, honestly, what they actually have going on in their deck.
One of the great things about it.
But you do know if there's a signature card that only they can play that's problematic for you.
Butterflies.
Did you get your clears that you needed?
I'm getting more still.
You got
the butterfly monk. I need to find the old shadow hounds. Something that I don't have.
Shadow hounds. Are they conjurations?
Yeah. Did I have them over here at some point? Maybe.
What do they look like? Oh, they're the really messed up thing.
Yeah. They're really messed up. Victoria. I like the idea of this one. I really do.
You can just put, you already have your false demon proxies.
Yeah.
So you can put those behind the, add extra. I think I had 2 core sets. I'm gonna get some water. You need anything?
Oh, no. I think I'm good.
Don't you know?
Who are you playing? Oh, you're doing Odette. That's right.
I'm
gonna get meteored.
It's fine. It'll happen once.
Yeah, it's fine. This is fine. Just a meteor. Tell that to the dinosaurs. Yeah, Nick, that does sound very meta. Basically, the idea that you can see their conjuration count whenever you sit across from their Phoenixborn that gets revealed. So my key here is going to be really trying to play it slow. Taking my time. Thank God there's not dice recursion anymore. Nick, you ready for this game to launch? Something tells me you probably are. Probably ready. I sure am. Sounds like everybody out there is. I think the timing's gonna work out just perfect. I think if we had to wait till next year, it might be might be too long. Just a long time to wait. Okay, so I know that I need at least 1 nature and at least 1 heart. So I'll probably do 1 of each. Yeah, right. Ready to play with real cards? I'm in. The only thing that I think is suspect on this one is this 2 shadows. Okay, let's look at first 5 here. So I've got a 1 of body inversion, so I want to get that out pretty much immediately. That's just a side action to drop that out there. I probably want the Shadow Hound. Probably want the 1 of Butterfly Monk, of course. The Shadow Spirits could potentially wait. False Demons could potentially wait. So we're going to put them down here in the kind of like the maybe pile. Okay, remember you can only do 1 of any named card, so I couldn't like stack up all my Shadowhounds. So if we look at if like I was gonna just play this, right? So this is gonna take 3 to summon a Shadowhound. It's gonna cost me, let's say 1 for a body inversion. It's gonna cost me 1 nature die to get that butterfly monk out. So I'm currently at 5 dice spent there. Now if I want to start out by messing with Zach on the seal, it's gonna be 1 more here. Kiss from a roof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 dice. So that means technically I have room for another 3 die card. Or I could assume that 1 illusion die is going to get used to spend, you know, to move things down. I could bring a copycat in as just like a, hey, how are you? It's 1 more die. I could bring a hidden power in. It's going to draw me a card and change 5 up, which could be really relevant at the start of the game. We could do 2 on the Mist Typhoon. Could be a fairly worthless card early, so we maybe don't want to do that.
The Mist Typhoon?
Yeah, if I know that I've got a Shadowhound and a Butterfly Monk, I could drop in a Massive Growth as my 5th, which would give them a little bit more legs.
I love working on the first turn.
I could drop in a 2 Shadows to get rid of a big threat. I think these are going to be ultimately end up being my options. I could do a False Demon, so that would bring in 2 more die. Probably this one, and maybe I'd bring in my last nature die just to make sure that I can ping 1 damage if I need to. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that leaves me 1 floating. So let's say I throw in right there. And Charm is -1 attack. That's all that it does to your stuff.
Yeah, pull up the Charm die card. I think it's -1 attack.
Without a Charm die, reduced by 1. Yeah. Okay. Seven, 8, 9, 10. There's also a world where I can drop in like Flash Archer on the first turn. If I don't use Body Inversion or if I don't use Butterfly Monk, I've got the dice to play the Flash Archer, which is pretty good.
Interesting. This is changing my game.
I do like Hidden Power too. Any of these cards that draw can change that opening turn. Yeah, PMK, I think I'm with you. Not playing Body Inversion immediately, so like this die might not exist in the first turn because you never quite know. So that would leave me 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play to theme a little bit here. I think I'm going to drop in Flash Archer, and I think I'm going to play that with like a, you know, like a 3 illusion, and then I'm going to float 2 nature die and 1 just to make, because these nature die are really important for the 1 damage too. So that gives me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then if I don't cast Body Inversion, I'm good. I get a Hound out. I get a Butterfly Monk out. I seal your first spell.
Use some of these floaters here.
Yeah.
If you end up needing to play Body Inversion.
Yeah. They floating. So the other approach here is going, let's say Body Inversion is good. We go here on a Shadow Spirit. So that actually is just 1 die for that. Let's say 2 die here. Butterfly Monk comes in for 1. 3 on the Shadowhound. And then we're at 7 dice. And so we can assume at that point that like
a damage and a couple
ping a damage and turn some of your dice down. That gives me an every turn Shadow Spirit. That Shadow Spirit is going to play into my theme of whenever it attacks it. Where's my conjurations?
Don't forget your Phoenixborn action either.
Yeah, what does that cost? And that costs a die. So that's a pretty open opening.
I think your dice are very universally useful. So like, you don't need to spend all 10 up front. You also get to threaten things that your opponent doesn't know.
That's right. Like I could have my signature spell in hand.
Yeah.
And you don't know. And that's a great spell just to have around.
You see Victoria, you have to know they can copy your events.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is amazing that so much of the game could literally just revolve around this. Just revolve around this game.
Adrian saying, I wonder, do you think this game could replace Star Wars Destiny? It seems like it's more streamlined and keeps the action mechanic more stable. Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. It came out right before it. I think if Destiny hadn't come out, I would have played a lot more of this game. I'm just a huge Star Wars fan. But it's hitting a lot of the same beats that Destiny did for sure.
I think the real magic here is going to be that Flash Archer. I think the choice I'll be making is, do you do Flash Archer? That's really the question. Battlefield versus dice control. Let's go Shadow Spirit and see what happens.
Nice. I think starting with your summon spells is very strong. So here's what I'm doing. I have 3 for the summon Dread Wraith. I have 3 for my summon Emperor Lion. Odette's action doesn't cost me any dice, so that's good. And then I basically have 2 lines of play. I can, if it gets crazy up in here, play very defensive. So I have Enlightenment, which lets me remove an exhaustion token from a card. Could be a unit or a spell if it gets like locked out, which would cost me an angel and a basic. And then if I do that, there's a few things. If I play the lion, I need to be able to pay for the law.
Yep.
Which is its own cost. So if I do that, if I Enlightenment, then I'm definitely going that direction. So I'm just kind of saving 2 for this just in case things go wobbly, but I might not spend that. So I need to have something to do just in case. So the lion with 2 can play any of my laws. But if I end up playing a law that costs 1, like the Law of Domination that I have 3 of, I'm actually, if I play that and I don't have a reason to use Enlightenment, I'm going to end up with 3 floating resources, which is where the Holy Knight comes in.
Yeah, so that's your option,
basically. I can do a law plus the Holy Knight, or I can unexhaust and play a law, or I can play a Shield Mage if I really want it.
And pushing Holy Knight to next turn is not, that's not a bad thing to have going into the next round.
Same thing with the Shield Mage, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's giving yourself options.
Very cool.
Which is what I'm doing.
Now, the way that I would expect this to go is I would expect to be on the defensive definitely on turn 1, to kind of slow, make it awkward, and try not to take too much damage. Turn 2, I should try to stabilize and have the dice manipulation tools out and enough direct damage on the table where I can take care of threats. And then by turn 3, it should feel like you're kind of walking through mud.
Yeah.
And if I can achieve that, I feel like we've got a deck that's doing something.
Then you've done what you set out to do. So I'm going to do my thing where I have my exhausted dice here and then my active dice above my Phoenixborn. Instead of my die power card, I'm just going to use my Phoenixborn instead. Odette.
Odette.
Yeah, once you take the first 5, I mean, we have 25 card decks. That's not a very...
It's not much. You really... It's more of a deck building game than anything. It's 80% build this engine and watch it spin, which I like. And then you have enough complex and interesting decisions to decide which, to pivot this direction or that direction during play, that it really hits a nice balance. Very, very nice.
Yeah. And that first 5, like it's very controlled. There's not a lot of randomness here. PMK saying the statistical viability of one charm dice is scaring me somewhat. But again, I'm not sure if he needs the top tier symbol or the mid tier symbol.
Yeah, for this one, I only need the heart,
which is the middle range one.
The middle range one, and I've got rerolls off of Victoria, and I've also got I think the hidden power in here is the one that changes them up. So over the course of the game, I should be okay. I should be able to re-roll into and then play, and we'll see if that works. A 50-50 shot rolling that dice, trying to get that heart back.
And the new illusion die, not removing it is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like knowing that I can't just nuke your
yeah, just
die.
Remove it. It's not getting removed.
Open swings right up.
Okay, let's play some Sidewinder, shall we?
Yes, indeed. Roll them up. We'll point the arrow at first player.
And number of basics goes first, is that right?
Yep. Whoever rolls worst, basically.
Look at those masks. I have 1 basic.
I have 4. I'm the first player.
All right, you're the first player. Isn't this cool?
It is cool.
Every time I play it, it's like a breath of fresh air.
It's like, oh yeah, this is nice.
Man, look, I got all class, like, all these class symbols.
And before we start, I'm going to read my laws again to you.
Read my lips.
So I have the law where the units deal damage to each other, and then damage can't be prevented. And then that's law of domination. Then I have law of sight. I can draw 2, can't play reactions. Watch out for that. Can't copycat me.
Thanks, PMK.
Law of assurance is all my dice turn to class sides, and then you can't reroll or change the level of dice in an opponent's active pool. So then I would literally stop you from messing with me for a turn.
Stop my nonsense.
Law of fear, I can exhaust a target unit with attack value of 0, and then all attacking units get -1 attack. Cool.
You can see how the dice are arranged, the difference between Zach and I as people and players. But no matter what, we will always do this with our cards.
Yep.
Because you can't kick it after 20 years, okay? We just can't. Impossible.
I'm going to use an action to play Summon Dreadwraith.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
What you going to do?
Let's take a side action here. Reroll up to 4 dice in an opponent's and equal number in mine. So I'm going to roll these.
Why wouldn't you roll the basics?
And this. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I forgot they were sitting around over there. I'm going to reroll these, and we'll do angel, knife. Whew.
You got rid of the
Got
knife.
you off that knife. See ya.
It's going to cost me a card.
Okay, more masks. Class for days. That one was actually already used, of course, for that ability. And then main action, let's seal that Dreadwraith. So 1 here, 1 here.
Bummer, dude. All right, mine. I'm going to go ahead and play Summon Emperor Line. And no side action.
Summon Shadow Spirit on the old spell board. And then side action body inversion. Pretty cool.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
Okay, so I don't want to do that yet. What is enlightenment?
What is enlightenment?
Let's meditate 1. We're going to change
like drop one of your laws.
This basic up to a lion. And then I'm going to play a Holy Knight. It's going to cost me
got the pivot.
A lion, an angel, and a basic. And the Holy Knight, magic armor can't be targeted by spells and opponent controls.
Right on. Okay. Makes sense. So then let's do...
Your inversion does nothing to me.
Nothing. You can't invert. Let's do a meditate 2. Make sure that's what I want. Yeah, let's do meditate 2.
Technically, by the way, I think you can meditate one at a time.
Oh, right on.
So you don't have to like declare a number.
You can see if it matters.
Yeah.
Meditate 2. And then I'm gonna place Shadow Spirit.
Nice.
Noise.
Cool.
Don't want any free swings if I can keep from it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I need to deal. Those are good little units.
Aren't they good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I will summon an Emperor Lion. It's going to be an exhaustion, 2, and a basic. Here comes Emperor Lion. Decree. When this unit comes into play, search my draw pile, reveal a ready spell with Law in the title, and place it in my hand. I can play it immediately. I can immediately play a Law, even from my hand that was already there, without paying the action or side action cost, except for my draw pile.
Nice.
Do. I'm going to grab a Law of Domination. I will go ahead and play it, and it costs me an angel. Are you an angel? When the spell comes into play, choose an opponent's unit they control. Then choose a unit you control. Those units deal damage to each other equal to their attack value. This damage and damage from attacking or countering cannot be prevented. So I'm going to go ahead and have... You're definitely taking 3, and I'm taking 2 somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So
I could put it on the Holy Knight, who has a recovery of 2. Or the Lion, to slowly whittle him out of the game. But I feel like, unfortunately, knowing all the cards you just put in your deck with 1 ping damage, let's go here. Can't be targeted by spells. I wonder if a spell that is an AoE of 1 is targeting anything.
I think if it doesn't target, I think you're fine.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with let's play here, and then let's side action meditate 2 into Froggies.
Frogadelic, yo. So you played the Summon Shadowhound spell?
That's it, yeah.
All right. Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Swing for 6.
You got it. Okay. You got 3 dice left over there?
Mm-hmm.
All ceremonial. Ceremonial.
Chronos saying the fact that people think you have to announce the number 1 meditating is the Mandela effect of Ashes.
This would be good to know. I feel like there's a right choice here and there's an awful choice here. Yeah, let's just get the Shadowhound for 3. And then we'll pass side action.
I can't do anything about them.
Rawr.
I'll pass.
Okay. Let's do, what's Odette's ability?
2 damage to a unit.
Nice.
But I can't target the Shadowhound.
Is it an ability, technically, that you would be using,
yeah.
I guess? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's Shadowhound onto the Lion.
Okay. I take 3.
Yeah, and he can't counter, right?
Nope.
He's exhausted.
He's already exhausted.
And then let's frog 1 on the Knight.
As your side action?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to... I guess I should have done this last round. I will side action, meditate 1.
And there goes that meteor.
To a goat.
See ya. What's that goat up to, though?
I can get an ally back. Don't worry about it.
Let's play Summon Butterfly Monk. And
Sweet.
Let's drop that goat down.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do it again. Going on.
Goat on. And then let's spend here, summon the butterfly.
That was a clean turn.
It's good.
That was really nice.
Ended up nice.
All right. Mine?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and use the goat. Get the Holy Knight back. Take 1 damage.
Oh, Holy Knight. Is Holy Knight a 3-die ally?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll fall for it. If you got me, you got me. 1 to your Phoenixborn.
You got it. Oh, wait.
Oh, you can counter it, can't you?
Well, better than countering. I can get my unit back and I can exhaust and do 2.
You should do that, yeah.
So then I'll pop your butterfly.
All right, and when it's destroyed, remove a wound from a Phoenixborn.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really nice little turn.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's kind of exactly like expected. It's like fell behind on damage, but kind of stabilized. And hopefully now the second turn will be kind of
Should be better.
Start to lay the mud out a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
Are we done?
We're done. So you get a draw.
This is so much better.
It is.
It's aggravating.
It is really a lot better.
It's aggravating.
I'm with you. I'll keep these draw 2. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I'll reroll all these.
You know what?
Angels and lions, oh my.
This is an interesting part of Ashes in that I actually drew, and if you have a copy of a card that only requires 1 die, I have 3 of them and I just drew 2 of them in this hand, so I can't play both. So if I start with 1 in my opening hand, which I do, if I have 2 dice, then I can never not play both.
Yeah.
So I probably am going to swap an illusion for a charm.
For a charming?
Because double seal is pretty good.
Yes.
Look at these. Somebody put these in the oven? Nothing but mass.
That was me. Yeah, I did that. Just kidding.
And then I'm first player?
Yeah.
Steps down.
You can get a free 3 swing.
Well, it's hard to not do that, isn't it?
Hard to deny.
It's hard to deny.
1/6 of the win condition. All right, cool.
Yeah, right there.
It's a trap.
I'm going to do that, I think.
Sure.
Let's go 3. Although it does feel like it's wrong. It really does. No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to. Because if the lion comes out, I can 3 to kill the lion. Now, can you block that?
Yeah.
Oh, it can't be guarded. That's right. Shadowhound
right.
can't be guarded, so that's the whole point. So this guy is just basically, if you got 3 health units, they're going to die, and you have a lot of 3 health units. I've seen the Holy Knight and the lion. So I'm going to leave myself here, and instead, I'm going to seal your Dreadwraith.
It's pretty nice that you're sealing my, demonic force.
And it's the thing that the Shadowhound can't deal with. And then side action, I'm going to use the reroll. So we're gonna go lion, goat.
Yeah.
Lion, witch, and the goat wardrobe.
Goat robe. The goat robe.
And then let's do 2 of these. I guess they could become lions, so like it's not great, but if they become basics, it turns off Emperor Lion. It
So I can play Emperor Lion. It's just the laws that sometimes, but like the law of domination I just played, it doesn't.
Yeah. What's the most devastating to reroll on your end?
Definitely these 2. That's a bummer. If you hadn't focused this town, these would be really good.
Yeah, this would be really good.
But you did. So it's really just these.
I think you take a crack at it. Most of the time, it's the same result. 50%
I mean,
of
half the time it's worse.
Yeah.
And the main thing is getting me off as many of those angels as possible. So you.
Yeah.
2 angels stay, but one's now a lion.
Or I got up to a frog, which is nice.
Froggy fresh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, mine.
Yeah.
Think about this. You're making this annoying.
That's good. You got to check in with
that. Your body inversion too is pretty brutal.
Just hitting there, yeah.
Yeah, it's really annoying. You have the answer on board to what I really could do if you didn't have that.
Excellent. Excellent. It's actually, like I said, it is a little alarming, but like the degree to which I enjoy this game more right now, it's the best that it's ever been for me as a player.
I feel like we're in a new zone in card games too. We've been playing a lot of different games, so it gives you a lot of appreciation for what is and isn't happening in this game.
Kind of realize that, wait a minute, this is actually, just with the cleanup too, it really is letting the game that we knew was there like shine.
Yeah.
And I'm not just shilling for it, because obviously, you know, we're
if you're 2.5 hours deep in this video, we're no longer shilling.
You probably agree.
You're drinking that Kool-Aid.
And my spell board is done, man. Well, it's about to be. Got one left, one slot.
Because you can just get Shadowhound back.
Yes.
Vomit. There's 3 masks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to ask.
Gwen Hope saying I'd also join an Ashes cult. All right, well, let's do it. Anybody watching the Vow on HBO? Are you watching that yet?
I haven't.
It's great, man. It's fascinating. I love all that cult stuff. Always have, personally. Like that, what was that? The Holy Wild Country? Wild Country. Do you watch that on Netflix? Oh, man.
I watched True Detective.
Yeah, this is all real life stuff, though.
True Detective wasn't real?
I don't think so.
You put me in a bind.
Okay, this is good. This is solid play testing. You got to communicate. You got to communicate with your partner, ladies and gentlemen. That's really what this is about.
I mean, that's life.
That's life, isn't it?
Because if I play a lion, you can eat the lion with your Shadowhound and play another Shadowhound. I have a shield mage, but you have inversion. So you can side action invert the 0 attack and 2 life to 0 life. It goes away, which is super good.
That's the good stuff.
Shield mage makes it where you can't attack my units. So technically, and it's a side action.
I had the exact answer.
So I could like Emperor Lion Shield Mage, you can't deal. I also could Holy Knight Shield Mage, but you can just invert attack, clear my board. So that's a problem.
Dude, we got to the turn 2 setup that we were hoping for with Victoria.
You put me in the pincer.
Yeah. Now we play the Iron Rhino and seal the game.
Your seals, here comes big boy. Oh, Leroy Brown.
I love this comment from Bradley over on Twitch. Can we talk about the crazy things Zach does with his ring? It's mesmerizing.
Oh, I don't even know. I honestly didn't even know I was doing it. That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take an action, enlightenment, an angel, and a basic.
Wait, can you do Odette's ability?
I can't target you.
Oh, right. I'm annoying.
The shadow, yeah, you're literally, it's like everything I can do, you're just like one step ahead right now.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help, like, you being first player on the second turn. That's a really advantageous position because you were able to, like, you're just putting the weird tempo on me. Anyways, enlightenment, angel, and a basic, remove an exhaustion token from a card.
Wouldn't that be sick if I could play this seal right now? That second seal.
It would be sick.
It'd be like, oh, I hate this game.
All that kiss from a rose. And then I have a side action. What is enlightenment? Let's meditate for one. Let's just cue this up.
Mm-hmm.
That way you have to just deal.
Yeah. I'm gonna play a summon false demon here onto my spell board.
PMK says, then the question, if you're locked out like I am kind of, how do you make this as expensive as possible for Steven? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make it, there's cards in my hand that I don't want to tell Steven about. I'm trying to make it as efficient as possible for me.
Okay, I think I've got what I need there.
Oh, baby, you.
So then my next step is, how does the rest of this turn play out? So, well, I'm gonna wait on that then, cause yeah, okay. So I'm gonna wait on that. We can always invert into a Shadowhound swing. That is just an incredible combo. I guess that's why they're on the same card. Makes sense. Way to go, Nick.
Story really writes itself.
So it seems to me like I probably want to meditate up into a wolf and start working on that shadow spirit dice down, because I actually have time. If you don't start using your dice, I have time to roll them down with that shadow spirit attack. I could also play the butterfly monk, but you don't have any threats on the board that are basically going to do damage by attacking, so the unit guard is less important.
Chrono's saying, I'm starting to think this game is nothing like Crokinole after all.
Now, I could drop another Shadowhound, but I do feel susceptible to AoE at that point.
You should.
And I don't feel like I have the board locked down pretty well. I'm not worried about it.
I basically have to create a problem big enough that you have to come out more if I do have an AoE.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Summon False Demon as my main, and then I'm going to...
Look at that spell board.
Twice here to go up to wolves. And I'm just going to get ready to start messing with your dice if you don't start using them.
Yeah. Mine?
Mm-hmm.
It's Mighty Morphin Dread right time.
Mm-hmm. Here it comes.
Here comes the Kings of the Dead. Rage 1, add 1 to his attack value for each wound on it. It's 1 attack, 6 life, 0 recover. And then side action. I won't take a side action.
Okay. Very, very nice. Does he have unit guard or anything? Doesn't.
But he can block for my Phoenixborn, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But now when you block, you have to exhaust.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Then next up...
Do you feel like you're starting to get a really good conceptual grasp of the game?
I'm starting to understand it a lot better. Yeah, just a lot better.
That's how I'm feeling. I think we're crossing the threshold here. All
right, so my main action, I'm going to throw Shadow Spirit in.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's just how it's going to be. Now, does Odette take the damage in the exchange?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is actually a good one for me to like. If you want to take 2, use that ability as a side action. Angels to basics. Like, you can already know that good Ashes is going to be so much fun.
You can see it.
It's just like,
yeah,
yes.
I agree. It's just because the thing about it is the game gives you so much control. It starts to get really exciting when you realize how in control you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, I use that example a lot, the quapping.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like once you understand how to run, this lets you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool to watch that happening. So I have some plays here that are fun.
Funny.
They're just fun. Because if I do that, what do you have left? You can Shadow Hound, but it's 3 masks. That's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You can Butterfly Monk. That's fun. You can False Demon. That's the best one you got.
Good one.
For the money.
For the 2 dice.
Mm-hmm. I don't quite want to do this yet. If I do that,
body inversion being a side action is really smart, because otherwise, like, inversion into nature die is like wildly good
super
play.
good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
wildly good.
Well, I think this is my play. I think this is definitely my play. I want to meditate for 2. And we're gonna go Liontown.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna play a Meteor.
There it is. There's your AoE.
Oh no, it's an action and a side action.
Woo! Wait, is it not or? Is it connected by the bridge?
It's both.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Hold on.
That's gonna make the dice manipulation way more annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get those up and then like.
And did you use your reroll this turn?
I have. Yeah, the
you
very
exhausted
beginning.
To do that, right?
Oh yeah, technically.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Just so I'm getting lost in the turns. Oh, that's worse.
Zeal, that the illusion die allows you to turn it down 1 dice level. So angels to basics or lions to angels. And I love that I can say that in a card game that I'm playing.
Yeah, sure. I should have done this last time. I'm gonna meditate twice, and we'll go to Liontown, and then we'll pass.
Mm-hmm. Here's the question. So with the Dread Wraith, printed attack with its printed life value, and then you add 1 to this unit's attack. So its life would be 1 regardless of how many counters it has on it, because it's working with printed values. Is that right, with body inversion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no matter what, I can invert it to 1 life, even if it has tokens on it.
That's a good question.
So swap a target unit's printed attack value with its printed life value for the remainder of the turn.
Yeah, but then if it's not dead,
mm-hmm.
It would be dead though.
Mm-hmm.
If it because it would technically have 6. Like if I had like a +4 life on it or something attachment, and technically like if you could get the 6 as its attack value if you invert me.
Yeah.
Plus some.
But that life would be static. Even if I change it to 1 life, if you have +4 life, it would still be a 5 life unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is body inversion only enemy units?
No.
That's pretty good with the Wraith.
It's so good.
Like I'm suddenly a 6.
It's so good. In fact, for 1 illusion die, it might be worth you looking at. It's kind of built for it. Okay. So then the right answer here is, I think, obvious. But then, so if I attack Shadow Spirit on Dreadwraith, Odette can step in for 2. And Phoenixborn never counter, right?
Right.
So then Dreadwraith is safe. And then I take a side action. And you get 1 of those per turn. Or you Shadowhound the Dreadwraith, then body invert it, but then the lion is safe to come out. Don't like that at all. No lion, please. So yeah, so I'm gonna have the Shadow Spirit attack the Dreadwraith.
I'll block with Odette.
Blocking with Odette. Now I have trickery here. When it is declared as an attacker, lower 1 die, 1 level. So we'll go lion to angel.
Got it. Yeah. 2 here. Mine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we'll do it. Action, side action, meteor, a lion and an angel. So deal damage to all units, then deal damage to all units equal to the number of. No, hold on. It taking. Because you have body inversion.
Next turn, side
the
action,
worst.
kill the Wraith. Yeah.
It's so good against this. Hold on. I made lion instead.
But no, yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a lion. Well, summon a lion. So exhaust, basic, angel. Get a lion, draw a law.
Yeah, good questions here from Michael here. Phoenixborn. So Phoenixborn can be in 3 states, basically. Well, really 4 states. So standing up and ready, which is not standing up and non-exhausted, and that means they can use exhaust abilities and they can guard. Sideways and non-exhausted, which means they've already guarded for the turn. So once they guard, they turn sideways, they tap. But even while they're tapped, they can use those exhaust abilities. So then you have the sideways unexhausted, sideways exhausted, which means they've already used their ability. So you can use an ability with a Phoenixborn, you can guard once with a Phoenixborn. Those are kind of the 2 things that you can do. Most of them, I think, have exhaust to do thing abilities, so that's pretty static. Any of these laws save your bacon here?
No.
Excellent.
Because is this targeting? Tell me that.
Choose an opponent and to choose a unit they control. I think you'd have to be, right? Then choose a unit you control.
Because like Sword of Virtue says destroy a target unit.
Yeah, this is a good question, Nick. Is target being used like in Skytear? Like when it says this unit cannot be targeted by attack, spells, abilities, or dice powers, does it have to say target? Or like with Law of Domination, it says choose an opponent to choose a unit they control. Oh wait, I choose the unit. Choose an opponent to choose a unit they control. So you choose me, I choose a unit I control, and then we swapsies. Is that right?
Yes.
So that's less good.
But it's
unless I only
fine.
have 1 unit.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Law of Domination. So I'll go ahead and play it. And it says so you have to choose one of your units.
And then we're gonna do and then
Then
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
choose
choose
one of
one.
yours, and then we're gonna swaps.
Then they're gonna attack each other. Nick says choosing is not necessarily targeting.
Okay, cool. So I guess I choose Shadow Spirit, right? I have to choose Shadow Spirit. And then it's either going to do 2 to Emperor Lion and die, or 2 to Dreadwraith and die.
And you can invert.
You can choose Dreadwraith, invert, Shadowhound, kill Lion.
I'll choose here.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. You got 1 die left. I'm in pretty good shape.
Yep.
Pretty good shape. Let's take side action. Let's ping the lion. And then main action. Great question. Main action, we're going to play another false demon.
Pass.
Mm-hmm. And if I attack your Phoenixborn, Dreadwraith can block, right? If you do that, then I can invert. But if I invert, that gets different. And if you block with the Dreadwraith, you have to counter?
Yep,
you don't.
I do.
You do. If you step in the way, you always have to counter, don't you?
Yeah, it's the new rule.
Okay. So yeah. So let's do main action for the old butterfly monk. And then pass the side action.
I'll take an action and hit your butterfly monk for 2.
Remove 1 from Victoria. All right, Shadowhound on Odette.
You got it.
And pass the side action.
Dreadwraith will swing at Shadowhound.
Can't be targeted by attacks.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just cards.
He's bogus.
That's hilarious.
He's a shadow.
All right, let's think about it. I'll pass.
Okay.
Oh, wait. It's an exhaustible ability.
Oh, right on. It's blank.
So I'll swing at you.
Right on. Yeah. Nicely done.
You can technically block with Victoria if you
Oh, yeah, I probably should do that.
want to just take 1 instead.
Wheel. That is a good question. Yeah, no, that works out great for me, actually. Yes, that's fine. Victoria takes 1? Yeah, Victoria takes 1.
Yeah.
Here's the Bugatti play, man.
This did not get better for me.
No.
I made a pretty big sequencing mistake on that round.
All right, here we go. False Demon coming in. Comes into play, 1 damage to an exhausted unit. And then body invert it.
You got it. Pass.
2.
Bad.
Bad.
Pass.
I'll pass as well.
Play out this turn and see what happens.
You play out the turn?
Yeah, I'll play 1 more.
Don't need this.
Technically.
Okay, and you're first.
All right. How do I get around it? Wolf.
The inversion is just too good of a counter to that Dread Wraith.
It is so good.
It's just built for it.
Yeah, it is so good.
It's absolutely built for it. Just one of starting on the board. It's just like, here you go. Deal with this. You're a wriggler, though. I always tell people Zach is the worst because he plays so well when he's losing. When all hope is lost, like a savant.
Where there is always a way. I'm really having to work my brain here.
Yeah, okay. It's like terrifying. Dang it, he's gonna figure it out. That's why I can never decide if I'm bad at closing games or if I just can't. If you're just like superhuman.
Super good at not losing.
Getting closed on.
Yeah.
Hit the bathroom. You can think about it. Talk to Chad if you'd like.
Oh.
The lines are. They got some smarts.
I just don't know that I can get around inversion. Look at my loss. Hmm. So I have Meteor, but he can just play the hounds back. Inversion's the real problem.
Just rip it up, Lola.
Mm-hmm.
I solved my problem.
Well,
it's funny because there's like the inversion. There's just a couple of units that it's just like
really.
Like I guess everything else I think in your Shield Mage and Dread Wraith is
really bad for inversion. Let's meditate. I'm gonna meditate 1. We're gonna go basic to a lion. Then I'm gonna play a Holy Knights, a lion, an angel, and a basic. Can't be targeted by spells.
Can be targeted by Shadowhounds.
Can be targeted by that. Just can't be targeted by spells.
Okay. Let's go with main action. Nah, you can block it, can't you? That's the problem.
Dude.
I mean, it's not, obviously it's not a huge issue. Well, that's where you have to be good at Ashes. That's really what has to happen here. So let's use side action on the reroll here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll 2, 3, 4 here. We'll choose those guys for you.
Come on. Not awful.
Good. And then this becomes the question. Let's seal the lion.
Oof. That also doesn't help. Yeah. Seal plus body version was MVP here. Surprisingly. Or maybe unsurprisingly. I'm not sure yet. All right. Well.
Happened to draw 2 that second hand, so that's good. It's fortunate.
Think about this. Let's go Shield Mage. Angel in a basic. As a side action. And then as my actual action. Let's play Sword of Virtue. And destroy the demon.
Demon. And cannot be targeted by attacks and opponent controls. Oh yeah?
Indeed.
So let's see. You can invert. You can invert. I think that's fine. That's gotta be it. Let's invert it. Obviously. Side action. Which will get your Wraith some attention, so.
He's coming.
I do appreciate that. Then the question becomes, what do we do here? I think attack Holy Knight.
I'm gonna block with Odette. So at 9, and you're doing 3? So 12, right? Okay. Mine. Will this swing for 3?
Yeah. Okay. 1 basic. Okay. I want these dice. Okay, we'll give it a shot here. We're gonna summon a Shadow Spirit. And then a side action. I'm going to do it the hard way. I'm going to discard 2. I think these cards are going to get cut because the ability is as good. Up into Wolves.
Okay. Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Meditate twice. Summon Dreadwraith.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Let's go Wolf Basic for a False Demon. Do 1 to the Holy Knight. And then, does it matter? Do you do it now? You probably wait. And then I'll pass the side action. Let's do False Demon.
Mm-hmm. It's a problem.
Mm-hmm. And then Frog there is side action.
Pass.
Put this one there and then Frog there.
Oh, okay. Pass.
Okay. Now, attacking all at once. Are you gonna? Oh, you can use Odette's ability too. I don't know if you're.
It would be 2 damage for 2 damage.
It doesn't matter, does it? So it doesn't matter if we attack all at once or not, does it? Okay. So we'll just make it easy.
Block 2 of it.
Where do you want it? Which one do you want dead?
The only one I can die.
Right.
This one. I take 4.
Yeah, take 4.
Pass.
Pass. Actually, no, not pass yet. Shadow Spirit in. Okay. Then we pass.
Now your first player, which is the worst. Can just sweep up. I think you just invert me and swing.
Okay.
Body inversion with the nature die is also super. Just even across turns is really awesome.
That's going to be around. That's one of those that's going to be around. Okay, we are going to invert, obviously. So I'm not an idiot. And then let's swing. I guess all of them, right?
That's right. There's nothing I can do.
7. Okay.
You just bury me.
Cool.
So
nice. Check this. Check out what a time to draw 3 massive growth. Like that would have been. It's like, okay, let's go.
I need to immediately reconsider my life.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, this clearly there was a lot of the counterplay in this deck against that was stronger than I was imagining it to be.
As in complete and total?
Yeah, like full. Is that what you mean?
All?
All the cards that would cause problems.
Yeah.
I definitely felt like this little engine over here, even aside from that, was a nice spell board.
Absolutely. You had a very full spell board just doing work.
Good tech pieces.
All right. Let me think
what
about
changes
my life.
for you?
So I didn't realize Meteor was now a side action.
Mm-hmm.
That gets way harder to pull off.
My first thing, I'm going to drop Hidden Power because it really, I think with Victoria's ability, it's really not a card that you need to dice fix as much because you get those rerolls. So hidden power, and then I think it's tough because I kind of had the right mix. I kind of want one more. I'm gonna stay on one charm die. Thank you, Philip. Hey, thanks, Nick. Yeah, that was a great game.
It was cool to see it actually working.
Yeah, it just turned right over. In fact, it actually was exactly as we had talked about beforehand. Take that swing up front and then bamboozle the rest of the game. So Seal's good. Don't know if you're aware of that, but
it is very good, especially when your opponent's playing one copy of each of their spells.
Yeah, it's so good.
Feels way less good, obviously, if later in the game I actually have 2 of those out. So
Check this out.
That's one thing I'm looking
Place
at.
1 exhaustion token on the chosen spell and each other copy of it on that player's spell board.
What card is that?
It seals the whole thing.
Oh,
doesn't matter how many there are.
Monkey. Well, it matters if I have it in hand.
Yeah, true.
Because if you seal, then I can duplicate it.
100%. Yeah. Okay, these are good. Everything here was good.
Well, then I do like Living Doll. It's like you can just invert it.
So hidden power's out, so we get card slots. That's super fun. Might do Mist Typhoon. Maybe feels. I wonder if that's just overkill. Two slots. Let's see what we could add. Any suggestions for either of these decks out there in the chat? We would absolutely
take them.
Take them, yeah. I'm tempted to try to get on Shifting Mist over Hidden Power. I don't have the spellboard slot though. Deal 3 damage. Sympathy Pain is okay. Can always throw those sleeping bears in.
I love those bears.
Mm-hmm. Just rolling. But when you have massive growth in there, it kind of is like, let's go. Yeah, Nick, that makes sense. A secret door on the Hound so they can go directly into the Phoenixborn. I don't know, though.
I like the Crimson Bomber.
Yeah, just one to every. Doesn't have to nuke everything on the board. Very emo, too.
Well, it's good against those dumb illusions.
Yeah, it's really good against that. That's the next tech piece. Cannot be guarded against. What did we decide guard was?
Anything blocking a unit. Blocking is a Phoenixborn, guarding is a unit.
Okay, right.
I'm looking at my man.
So if I attack the Phoenixborn, you can guard with or you can block with a unit. Yeah. Okay. Golden Veil being requested for you, Zach. That's one of your favorite cards.
Yeah. I like Neil way more than I like Meteor.
What's the difference?
Place an exhaustion token on each unexhausted unit for a heart and an angel. But the Meteor, I'm trying to do the damage to everything. It's weird.
Okay, figures you play that your opponent, choose a target taking and place 1 exhaustion. Boy, figures in the fog is good. It's really good.
I think I might get around it by like, I'm definitely dropping Meteor. That's one thing that's happening.
All right, no more meteors.
It's just too specific. It's very expensive. Someone's saying the new Steadfast Guardian for me.
That was a good. That's a nice.
That was previewed today, though, right?
Uh-huh.
So we don't have it.
Yeah. But you might want to put it on the list.
Yeah.
I mean, oof, Temple Elder's tempting. Ah, no, I need the flute. I'm not gonna make the flute. No music notes for me, okay?
I could play some upgrades to give myself bonus life, like Holy Relics.
Okay. Say Holy Relics, I'm in. From the game, just there to the top of there. I'm almost ready to start doing Mind Probe. Call Upon the Realms is not bad here. Just a main action, change 3 dice. I like that. I think we kind of have narrowed it into the... Can you hand me that Astria stack over there?
That was my short stack for the stack.
Holy Relics on Shield Mage, that looks good. Root Armor.
Nature is a whole another category. Change Psyche, man. Yeah, it's cool how different all of these are. See, I'm in your stack. I see. Mm-hmm.
You got all these good cards over here. Why are you on all these good cards?
Apparently not good enough.
Yeah, right. They weren't working. Okay, I see. The Change Psyche, not bad. Root Armor, not bad. Maybe that's right for me. Shifting Mist, also not bad. Hmm. 2 life. So how good would these things be? Shadowhound would be 2 life, prevent 1. That's pretty solid. False Demon. 2 life, prevent 1. 3 life, prevent 1. Those false demons get really good. Shadow Spirit gets a lot better. Well, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try that, yeah. Take a look at it. It could just really do nothing. It's one of those cards, right? It's just like,
What card?
Root Armor. I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah, it is either great or not great.
Yeah, we're just like, I don't have. This is not a card that's gonna get me out of a problem.
I agree, Nick. Sand Wraiths feel like they pinch my dice. 3 very inflexible ceremonial die. I mean, sorta. The main thing about it was like spending 3 on something he can just so easily deal with is a big problem. So I'm looking at basically if I can get sealed out of a game, I just want to have really good allies to be able to play that don't get affected by getting inverted. So I'm looking at the Blood Archer.
Blood Archer's bananas.
It's gonna be really good, particularly against you, which I don't want to rely on.
I do have a feeling you're gonna be playing against this deck a lot.
Because you like it.
Because I like this a lot.
Isn't that funny? I feel like you started out like on her in general, and then like Oh yeah, this is really good.
This is really good, yeah.
The problem with Lionesses, Kronos, is they take a spellboard slot. But I basically, if I have good allies, because I have all the stuff that unfocuses my stuff. So like if he wants to lock down my spells, I just need to not care about that.
This Typhoon. Transfer, change Psyche, Sleeping Bear. Text spell their opponent controls. I think that's right. Anything that removes. Okay, these are all main actions that I'm looking at. After your opponent plays attackers, is no longer attacking. And Figures in the Fog is really good. I think I'm going to go with my gut and go with the old Sleeping Bear.
Baloo?
Baloo. But I don't need to yet because I'm going to switch Hidden Power to Call Upon the Realms. Because Call Upon the Realms are going to give me a change 3 dice and basically immediately do a damage with a frog or do an illusion power. So I'm going to go 3 of those. And then I think I'm going to make some tweaks here. Do like 2 Mist Typhoons, 2 to Shadows, and then put in 2 bears. Get a little toolbox going here.
Like you do.
Yeah, Kronos also just asked me not to run body inversion. Not gonna happen. Just be ruthless.
You want to try this again? Or are you done?
What time you got?
4:30.
4:30. Yeah, bring you get out of here.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z, can Zach come back?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. I think like people saying like where my spells really do anything. So the problem is, I have a spell board of 3. No matter what they had been, every turn you lock down one of my spells.
That was rare. Only have 3 seals. I drew all 3 in the first 2 turns.
So like
the 1 is going to be obvious. I'm going to have that on the first turn, but
so like, given my spell board of 3, I think I have to be prepared for when they can lock down a spell.
Yes.
And so I think Odette naturally has to run good allies, so that if you lock down my spell, I can play an ally from hand just as good.
I don't disagree with that.
I have Meteor, which is kind of a dead card. And my Shield Mage was basically a dead card against you. So, like, that's a problem, too. Yeah. So I think that's the next step. I put in better allies. Something to do with my ceremonial.
Good idea.
That was the other thing. So after you lock down my Dread Wraith on the first turn, I didn't have anything to do with my ceremonial dice.
Right.
So I need to have an ally that can use the ceremonial, and that's where like Blood Archer or Crimson Bomber comes in. Because if you do lock down my Dread Wraith plan, like it's either lock it down or really you played in body inversion, which is the same thing as permanently deleting that spell.
Yeah.
So I just need to be able to actually use my dice at that point, which I was not doing. Like that first turn, I think I had 2 ceremonial left at the end.
Yeah, just basically having that escape hatch. Make sure these dice can do something if the one thing I want them to do. That's why I added a few. I only have charm with the hearts, so it's like I want a few more spells that can use those hearts every turn.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes, and if it's worse, then I'll change it.
Do you have your short stack that goes with your character?
Yes, I do.
They're either using or close to using. Use that to divide it.
All right, here's my Conjurations. Here's Victoria.
I'm glad you like that deck.
It's cool, man. It plays like Illusion should.
That was when I was looking at Victoria, it was the first time I'd looked at all the Illusion dice, really, or Illusion cards. And so it was basically like, I'm going to pull out all the cards that I think work well together and are good together from that type. And that was a stack that you you made it with, and it's like, oh yeah,
you was right.
This is really good.
You were totally right. Oh man, hey, I can't explain it, you know, fully, but that is great. That just feels exactly like the game of Ashes that I wanted it to, where we had moments where you were literally thinking about a turn for 5 or 10 minutes in the kind of volley that going back and forth that was happening. Obviously, you had a tough matchup there, but
it was good.
It still felt like we were able to respond, answer, respond, don't attack here yet, get a blocker on the board, make sure that you're trying to kind of blanket the counters and the answers and keeping that tempo up. Which is a consequence of the game being streamlined towards actions and side actions and away from all of these reactionary triggers. So it worked very well. Very cool. I cannot wait for all of these cards to get in your hands. It's going to be so great. Just a quick reminder in case you don't know at this point, there's kind of two things going on with Ashes Reborn. One is the upgrade pack is being released via our subscription here in North America. That's the only way to get it. Only way to get it on release. So if you go to our website, you can find Ashes, Rise of the Phoenixborn, and then sign up for that subscription. And the first thing you'll get is an upgrade pack. That's particularly meaningful for people who have some 1.0 cards, or if you bought 1.0 to get in right now and you need to upgrade those to the Reborn cards. The upgrade pack is a third of the card pool. And it's going to replace 1/3 of the 1.0 card pool. And then the other 2/3 of the 1.0 card pool is the same. It's unchanged. So that's kind of the first option. If you have 1.0 cards, if you bought into 1.0 cards and you want to get Reborn, sign up for that subscription, and that's going to get you the upgrade pack. If you're brand new and you're just kind of waiting, and you're just waiting until all of the Reborn products come out, that will be all of the current expansions with updated packaging and with all of the Reborn cards that are in the upgrade pack included in the appropriate expansions and the core set. So if you're waiting, then you grab the Reborn core set whenever it drops. It should be around November as well. And then sign up for the subscription, and that's going to get you all the new releases as we move forward. So two good pathways there. If you're brand new, if you got 1.0 cards, kind of when the timing of that is all going to work out. And we've been saying it a bunch, but this is our first attempt at a player-driven production is what we're calling it. This is one thing that we've been thinking about for a long time, a way to not only solve a lot of the problems that are in the industry when it comes to forecasting and demand and trying to figure out how many people are playing your game, and then also games that a lot of times didn't make as much sense for retailers and for local retail to invest heavily in, given the kind of like low price point and the consistent nature of the releases and the large amount of SKUs. So trying to solve all those problems at once, and we have a huge reception of that. Thank you to everybody who's a part of this. The game will keep getting printed as long as subscribers stay above the threshold to make it profitable to do so.
And I can't wait to see it. Michael asked a really relevant question. After the upgrade pack, which is supposed to come out in November, December through the subscription, what's the next thing you'll get through a subscription? Will it be new content? Yes, it'll be the deluxe expansion that's got like a box and the time dice.
Jericho and Time Magic. Yep. We get
so
Jericho and Time
Magic. And then after that, we'll get into the standard releases every quarter, which is basically two new Phoenixborn with decks to go with them. Of course, most of those cards can be played with any character, so the goal of that is to have it every 3 months where you get two new characters and two new decks.
So good. And this is great. Nick's on the chat here. Thank you so much, Nick, for all the work here. Huge thanks to everyone at Plaid Hat, Colby, and Nikki, and everybody involved. And we just can't wait to get this out. Like, it's ready. It's like almost there. So a couple more weeks, and then we should know more, and then we can start to actually look at dates and get things lined up. And there we go. Ashes is coming. Here we go. So thank you guys for being here. Another great Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. Take care.